the Bud Pavilion at State Fair Park. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly sunny skies, a high of 79. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 63. Weather is brought to you by Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more. For custom apparel that helps your team, business, or event stand out, choose Big Frog. Visit bigfrog.com/Mequon. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
I'm with Eric, Director of Research for Good Karma Brands. They have business technology from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Eric, what does partner mean to you?
Partner isn't just out for them. The partner cares about how we solve our problems, and it can be a mutually beneficial relationship from there on.
And I understand throughout the more than 15-year partnership between Good Karma Brands and James Imaging Systems, you have shared many core values.
Absolutely. Work hard, be honest, over-deliver, follow through, listen, teamwork.
Eric, summarize your overall business technology partnership with James Imaging Systems for me.
Outstanding. As we've grown tremendously and you guys have still been able to meet our needs each step of our growth, that's huge.
AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
This is Wisconsin basketball head coach Greg Gard. This is 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD2, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
Our very first guest in the history of Wilde and Tausch, which will be, I'm sure, a long and distinguished history.
Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher.
Aaron Rodgers, give us an over-under on what number would you set for how many shows we do together?
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at ESPN Milwaukee.
I'm going to say daily 52 weeks a year. I'm going to say you do about 230.
And celebrating 10 great years on ESPN Wisconsin.
And then what happens?
No, then Tausch kind of bows out.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
How was your 4th of July edition? Has Tausch caught World Cup fever edition? I gotta be honest, I sat and watched the entirety of England versus Mexico from Stadium Azteca, and I don't want to be
Mexico this weekend?
No, I watched it from my living room. But
I watched it from Azteca.
The game was from there. I think it's maybe possible that you could get into this if you gave it a chance. I really do. Edition. And most importantly, the Shawn Eichorst scheduled to appear edition, the new Wisconsin athletic director, scheduled to join us at 9:30 edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on the ESPN Wisconsin app, which is A, free, B, customizable, and C, can be found both in the Apple and Android app stores. I'm Jace Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is taking some much-deserved, and it feels like it's been a while since I've said this, days off. So in his stead is our cousin sub of the day, cousin subs, we believe in better. It is Ryan Rye Guy Wooly Wollersheim.
Oh,
welcome
thanks,
back,
Jace.
buddy.
How's it going? How are you?
Are you? Whose jersey are you wearing there? Does it say Wollersheim on the back?
It does not. It does start with a W, though. It is Timothy Weah's jersey from the U.S. men's national team, repping the jersey tonight as the U.S. men's national team taking on Belgium in the round of 16. You make the quarterfinal for the first time since 2002.
And has your red card also been rescinded?
Mine has. Jesse's hasn't, which is why he's not here today. FIFA did not come down and say that he can come back from up north early. But yes, Ashton Rotman did rescind mine, so that's why I'm producing for you guys today.
And from his undisclosed location, Mr. Soccer himself, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. I did not go to Mexico to watch the game.
No, neither did I. It was, again, you are a big event guy. I am not trying to convert you. I am just going to admit my own surprise at how invested I became in two countries that I have no citizenship for, no rooting interest in. The atmosphere was ridiculous. They were on like a 40-minute penalty kill because they had a red card. The English did, and they had a 3-2 lead that they were trying to protect. Wooly, tell me, you're a soccer guy. Us normal people that aren't completely invested in it, are you noticing your friends are more and more into this than even you expected them to be as casual soccer fans, or am I the outlier?
So I will definitely push back on the idea that I'm a soccer guy.
You're wearing a jersey.
I am wearing a jersey because I was an intense casual fan in the last World Cup cycle when the U.S. was actually good for the first time ever. So I got invested then. Since then, I've been like, I have not paid a ton of attention to the team or like international soccer at all. I pay attention to the U.S. and that's about it. So I bought this jersey because I wanted to like be part of it at the moment, and then I've had it for the last 4 years.
This is not helping my argument.
Look, but I agree with you, Jason. I actually cared about watching the England-Mexico game last night in a way that I was not expecting, and especially because like over the weekend there just happened to be like 3 or 4 fantastic games too that are all like really interesting. Even earlier in the day on Sunday, watching Erling Haaland win with Norway over Brazil was electrifying. Like that dude is insane. So, yeah, it's fun to like get on the action. And honestly, I think it being in the U.S. and, I mean, hosted in North America, but primarily the U.S., I think that has a big aspect to it.
Well, we will see what the U.S. team does tonight. And if they win, then Tausch will get on board during the round of 8. Tausch, what did you do for your 4th of July?
I did not watch the soccer. I did see this Mexico-England deal. Why did they not put a sub in? Why did they play 10-on-9 for a whole half? Like, I don't understand. You have 15 guys on your team. They're just sitting there, and you're playing. You don't. It's not like a 2-minute penalty kill. You got to kill the whole game.
Yeah, if you get a red card, you're donezo.
Dumb.
So you're playing a man down the rest of the time.
Good deal. Yeah, that's dumb. So in the NBA now, we should go 5-on-4 for a half. I mean, in hockey, you can sit out you can have a 10-minute major.
Right.
And that's sort of like this. But I don't understand. You literally got all these other dudes that would be excited to get out and play. This person that got penalized, he's out for the game. I get that. But then you're going to say for the whole team, all right, you have now 45 minutes to kill the rest of the game?
Yeah.
That math doesn't equate to me. I don't understand.
All your criticisms that you have, I do agree with. I don't understand why we have to do the arbitrary, which they claim is not arbitrary, 11 minutes of stoppage time. Just stop the clock and then start it again when play resumes. I don't get that.
Yeah, and this is the deal. Listen, man, I get it. They shouldn't try to appease me. I'm not their fan.
No,
I understand that. But this common sense just tells me this none of this makes any sense. But this is the greatest game on earth, is what everybody keeps telling me. And I am going to watch tonight. I decided to jump on the bandwagon a segment earlier.
Nice.
Just because this has become such a – first off, it's the middle of July. There isn't a ton of other sports going on. If there was anything else, I'd watch it. There's not. They have wisely – Fox and FIFA have wisely just owned this part of the calendar. It's a smart move. And the whole concept of corruption and everything else – if I ever hear FIFA and the IOC should be the last two organized bodies to ever talk to me or any of our fans about corruption of any sort. Thank you. I don't want to hear it. This whole deal with, the red card getting overturned, and I don't even know what's the name of the guy that they're letting play tonight that's really good for the U.S.
Rye guy, go ahead. You pronounce it better than I do.
Jason. Jason. What's the guy's name? I don't know what his name is. What is his name?
Balogun.
I know you're a big
Balogun. Yep. Folarin Balogun.
Balogun. Sure. This whole deal, and they have people calling in. Yeah, okay, guys. This kind of shows you where it's at, and So the whole concept of this is just ludicrous to me, but it is good competition. It is entertaining. And with the new motto of just entertain me, I'm just going to get entertained. And I'm going to still complain about the things I think are dumb, knowing nobody cares, but I still feel that way. And that's why soccer will never jump in my world rankings for myself. But that doesn't mean it can't be entertaining and fun. And the fact that we're in the Sweet 16 can make the Elite Eight if we end up winning is awesome. And the fact that we had presidents call and get things changed tells you FIFA, it tells you everything you need to know about FIFA. FIFA and the IOC, it tells you everything you need to know, I guess is the nicest way I could put it.
Again, you and I don't disagree on some of the rules that they have that I don't understand. Another one is if you get subbed out, you are done for the day. Like, that's it.
Well, baseball does that. Baseball does that.
Yeah, but football doesn't. Basketball doesn't. And in soccer at the lower levels, they don't do it that way either, thankfully. Otherwise,
I'm all right with that move.
You're good with that
one. Yeah. You sub out, you're done. Yeah, I get that. It's a long game. There's not a ton of stoppages. Now that they get hydrated, they can. But I still there's just a lot of things I fundamentally disagree with, and that's probably why I'm not a soccer fan. And I feel like I'm definitely in the minority on it, and I'm all right with that. Like, I'm more than all right with it.
I don't think you're in the minority. I think it's probably people have jumped on now, and then they will lose interest again. I don't know, maybe they'll watch more MLS games after this or more Premier League games than they have previously, but I am dubious on that. All right, so instead of soccer, did you see any of the Brewers series with the Diamondbacks? And you said, as astutely as you often do about the Brewers, you really need the left side of the infield, which they made changes there, and then you talked about their need for Woody to continue to be Woody. And unfortunately now he's got the arm issue once again where his velocity dropped. He's on the IL, and we don't know how long he's going to be out. The Brewers open a series at St. Louis tonight, a 4-game set with the Cardinals, followed by a trip to Pittsburgh to face the Pirates and not our buddy Mike McCarthy. Are you concerned now about that? Do they have your attention, or are you wake me in Septembering?
No, the Brewers have my attention, and I think Woody / Wooly, we kind of, Jesse and I were at that game, I think it was a Wednesday day game, when he lost velocity, and it wasn't as if there was anything major, like a elbow or a shoulder. It just, he was losing his, I don't know if it's dead arm. I don't think the Brewers know exactly what it is. And you've been able to steal a few starts. You feel terrible for Woody because he obviously has been a great ambassador to this team. He's been a great performer for a long time. And this is another special year that this group can have. And now I don't know if they're going to put him on the 60-day. I don't know what exactly their plans are, but you just hope he was able to regain his stuff with a long layoff. I think that's the best case scenario you can hope for now as a Brewers fan, is that he can maybe get back by, I don't know, early September, maybe for a playoff push. But I don't know how much. I saw that, I sent that clip over to you and Wooly from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning. Gabe is all in, watching every minute of this stuff. And now I don't. Oh, I thought that was that a clip of me talking about Gabe's clip. Gabe basically said that you can't count on Woody. You're not going to be able to bank. Was he going to be one of your 3 starters in the post? And it would be awesome if you can, but I think obviously what happened, I believe Saturday night was when that happened, right, Wooly? Is that when he went out?
Saturday night about 9:30 Central Time in the 3rd inning.
And when that happens again, you really have to. It's not the same thing, because I don't want to diminish Woody's career, but it's the same thing when you're talking to the Packers. Like, you're going to count on Marshawn Lloyd? Well, it'd be great if you can, but you're crazy if you do. You hope that, oh, my God, they show up and they can perform. But at this point now, with a second time that the arm went pretty much kaputs, you have to adjust. And I do think that probably maybe changes some of the math that Matt Arnold's going to have to look at when he's thinking about trading. So the Brewers still found a way to get a couple wins, but obviously this was a big loss in the fact that someone that I think everybody universally respects is unable to probably get back out there, at least for an extended period of time.
I'm sorry, Wooly, were you trying to tell us that you had that clip from Gabe so we can all hear it? Is that what that was?
Yeah, I was so excited to tell you guys about it. I wanted Tausch to tell us about it. That's why I started playing his voice. Yes, I do have
You're the opposite. Wooly, you're the oppo of Jesse, where it usually takes 2 segments to get it. You actually are firing it off before I even bring it up.
That's just how good I am, guys.
It's not a bad thing.
What can I say? Producer of the future, they call me.
Must be the jersey.
Yeah, pop.
Clearly. All right, you guys ready for this clip?
Yes.
No, he's given everything. It just stinks. It's unfortunate, but it's unfortunate. You cannot count on him for the rest of the season. Maybe he gives you something. Maybe you can transition him to the bullpen, and that ends up being better for him, and he can become, and still contribute that way. I don't know. I just don't know what you do. And, yeah, I would imagine, Jen, that the Brewers aren't shocked by this because how long have they been dealing with this now?
Was Chewy yawning in the back?
Yeah. I like that. He's at the dentist's office.
Getting x-rays. I don't know what you're supposed to do with a guy that has been very good for them when he's been available and has a track record of being a very good pitcher, but like Gabe is pointing out, you can't count on him now. I don't know enough about dead arm and how long it takes to rejuvenate it. It's happened once now where he came back from, maybe more than once. But to your point, Tausch, we've talked about the trades, and we've talked to Jeff Passan about it, and the crawling through the window, not to sit and look at the view, but to jump out of it. I will be curious to see how this, to your point, affects their trade approach at the deadline. All right, we need to get ready to talk to the University of Wisconsin new athletic director, Shawn Eichorst. We'll talk a little bit about our game plan for that after Tausch tells you what your game plan should be when it comes to replacing your windows.
Well, it's easy. It always is Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And shopping for new windows and doors should be simple. It shouldn't include haggling over everything. Pella sticks to straightforward pricing, honest conversations, helping homeowners find the right fit for their home, and they never use high-pressure sales tactics. When you buy direct through Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, the same team that manufactures your windows and doors, they also sell them, install them, and service them. Real pricing, premium quality, no game. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance. All the biggest voices, all in one place. The Yingling Legends Line. Exclusive insight from Hall of Famers, All-Stars, and Game Changers, all on the Yingling Legends Line.
Brian Braun, I appreciate you joining us here on Kyle and Brust.
But we just wanted to have fun. You know, baseball's a game of failure and adversity. It's such a long season. You want to find ways to enjoy the success when you have good moments.
The Yingling Legends Line. Crack open a Yingling lager and raise a toast to an American tradition. D.G. Yingling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
Oh no, I dropped my lip balm in the water. I can't think of anything worse than the looming threat of potentially having chapped lips. It was ginger vanilla too, my favorite flavor.
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
Celebrate 4th of July savings happening now at the Home Depot with select appliances starting at $398. Plus, get free delivery on appliance purchases of $398 or more, no membership required. Get a Whirlpool fridge with Easy Reach Zone to keep tall items organized and accessible. And upgrade to a washer-dryer tower with UV clean technology to reduce bacteria in the wash without fading fabrics. Shop top brand appliances now at the Home Depot. Offer valid June 17th to July 8th, U.S. only. See store online for details.
This is Aaron Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year Award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for MoMA. Battling a sore knee, a shoulder, elbow, hand, neck, back, or foot pain? MoMA can get you back in the game. MoMA is the new Midwest Orthopedic and Musculoskeletal Alliance, connecting trusted local providers like OIW, SMOC, and Innovative Pain, with expert care and innovative treatments provided in their offices. The Surgery Center, Ortho Laser, Smart Scan, or MOSH. With the best orthopedic care and recovery, MoMA can get you back to doing what you love. Call or walk in today.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling, trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
Meet Jim and Rita.
We went on a motorcycle trip.
But somewhere in Wyoming, Jim and Rita were in a serious accident.
They blocked off the interstate and everything and took us to the hospital.
Sometime later, Rita made a discovery.
She had noticed that the bracelet was gone. And I asked the trooper, is there a chance we can go out there and see if it's still there?
And amazingly,
he found a couple of pieces.
It was only 2 tiny links of the bracelet.
Jim was determined to buy Rita another bracelet from Kessler's.
And I had my checkbook in my hand.
But when he arrived there,
and I said, okay, how much? And she says, that's part of our warranty.
Jim and Rita discovered the Kessler's miraculous, no small print warranty.
It's just amazing that you guys do this.
And it's true.
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed. It's just that simple.
It surely is miraculous.
Read the Kessler's miraculous, no small print warranty yourself at KesslersDiamonds.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Getting ready to talk to new Badgers Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst here on Wilde and Tausch. By the way, I understand that we are a Packers-centric show. We bring on Jeff Passan and Bill Schroeder and Dom Catronio and Levo to make us smarter about the Brewers. So I don't in any way pretend to be an expert at all on them, but I am amazed at how different the coverage is of baseball now. I am reading the story about Brandon Woodruff's shoulder issue on Brewers.com. And first of all, I didn't realize, and someone pointed out in the YouTube comments as well, they think they know what this is. A cyst gets full of liquid in his shoulder. It is a holdover from previous shoulder surgery, so if they drain it, he regains some measure of velocity again. It just takes time to heal. But the stats that they use in here, I am fascinated by. They have his speed on his four-seamer, which is 88 miles per hour, like Back to the Future, which is 4 miles an hour below his yearly average, but that's where he's at when he's feeling good. And then they talk about some of their other pitchers in this story. Tausch, you're a baseball guy. Robert Gasser has particularly excelled at limiting loud contact, posting a 94th percentile hard hit rate. I'm sorry, is that on the back of baseball cards? Because I have not. These are things that I am not familiar with.
Yeah, I am also not, but that is the new age, and it's not even that new. I think this has been around for a while. the new rules. You don't pitch a third time through. There's all they got. I mean, I think it was the Marlins. Somebody had a perfect game.
Yeah,
through
Marlins.
7 innings. And you just say, no? Like, I'm good? You're good? I mean, I
6
understand if
more
a guy's
outs.
coming back from a rehab, if there's other things in play, let it rip, man. It's a new era. There must be, teams must know. There's more expertise, and there are really good things that come from all of that, but there's also some things that just make you shrug and say, this isn't my era of ball no more. And that Marlins deal the other night, all of this other stuff, this is just collecting data, so hopefully you make good decisions when you're paying people.
All right, well, that is the extent of our Brewers talk. I'm sure we will get to some Wimbledon talk a little bit later in the program with Tausch's Tennis Minute. But we do have Shawn Eichorst coming up, and I want to give a shout-out to Jalen in the ESPN Madison YouTube comments who says, how did you manage to get Eichorst on before Jonathan Gannon? Which I appreciate your loyalty to the show and that line. And the answer is we do have the radio color analyst as a co-host of the program. Have you caught up with Shawn before he joins us and welcomed him back? Because I know you guys certainly crossed paths back in the day.
No, I wanted to keep it fresh. So this is going to be our first, as the new athletic director, this will be our first conversation. They obviously are having some other stuff. Had a little intro Zoom deal, I think, last week, and I think they're having more to do coming up later this week as well. So everybody gets a better chance to learn more about what Shawn is going to do here at Wisconsin.
Indeed, it is actually later today. I got the news release yesterday from Patrick Herb in the UW Athletic Department. So for those that are going to join us to listen to his interview with us coming up in a few minutes, he will also be introduced at the Champions Club later today at Camp Randall. There'll be a press conference as well. And our good friend, the voice of the Badgers, Matt LePay, will also moderate a Q&A session with him too. But first, he is scheduled to join us coming up in the next few minutes. Before we do that, I want to remind you we talked a lot of Brewers, which is not usually our MO. But when we talk about Brewers and great customer service, we're talking about Brewers checking from Associated Bank and all the great perks that come with it. 20% off at the Brewers team store when you show your Brewers card. Up to 50% off home game tickets. Express entry through the Associated Bank entrance, which allows you to tailgate a little longer and skip the line. Concert and event access, pre-sale access to designated concerts and non-baseball events at American Family Field. And, of course, you'll save money both on registering for the Brewers Baseball Academy and for the Brewers Community Foundation 5K and 10K Famous Racing Sausages Run and Walk at American Family Field. So go to AssociatedBank.com/Brewers to find out more. And while you're there, you can also find out about all the great customer service awards they have won in as well. Shawn Eichorst, the new athletic director at the University of Wisconsin, joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Celebrate and save big during Steinhaffel's Furniture and Mattress 4th of July sale. Save up to 30% store-wide, then take $75 off every $7.99 you spend. And we make buying your new room easy with our special 60-month 0% financing. Plus, take an extra 15% off our already low-priced clearance. And don't forget about the amazing doorbusters throughout the store. It's Steinhaffel's 4th of July sale. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
From large manufacturer to local pizza shop and every business in between, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions. Whatever you're building, you've got this, and Summit Credit Union's got you.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher for Outdoor Living Unlimited. Well, my wife and I chose Outdoor Living Unlimited to build our outdoor project. And when we met with Aaron and Eric Brown, owners and brothers of Outdoor Living Unlimited, we felt like they were the right guys to work with. We share the same hardworking values, and their showroom is a must-see at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha. If you're looking for a new deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, and more, Outdoor Living Unlimited is a must. Start with OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com and end with an amazing outdoor space.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper, scratch paint, Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Start the second half of the Brewers season with a stacked series against the Marlins. The whole city's invited to celebrate Noche de Cerveceros Friday, July 17th. Then get the latest Brandon Woodruff Brewers bobblehead, courtesy of PNC Bank, Saturday the 18th. Treat the family to a summer Sunday at the ballpark for Paw Patrol Day on the 19th. Plus, family vibes are through the roof with special kids activities every Sunday. Get your tickets at Brewers.com.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Wisconsin State Fair turns 175 this summer, and we only get better with age. Join us for 11 days of fun, iconic traditions, grand champion moments, and food that's absolutely worth the hype. Celebrate 175 years together and get your tickets today at WIStatefair.com. Wisconsin State Fair, presented by T-Mobile, August 6th through 16th. We'll see you there.
Your premier Michigan golf getaway includes rounds at Sweetgrass and Sage Run. Book Monday through Wednesday for best availability. Savor elevated dining and unwind at the full-service Drift Spa between rounds. Grab quick bites in the expanded Sage Run Clubhouse, or refresh overlooking the 9th and 18th at Sweetgrass. It's all part of an unforgettable golf experience at Island Resort and Casino. Plan your getaway at islandresortgolf.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Badgers Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst scheduled to appear momentarily. You know, Tausch, I know that I've been known to correct you once or twice. And yet, you are nice enough to correct me privately. I'm lucky to have you.
Usually. Yeah, there's times that I'll have to do it on air, but Jason, you just never make any mistakes.
I made one. I made one moments ago. The introductory news conference and everything else is tomorrow. That's not today. The 4th of July, especially when it's on a Saturday, I just feel like it messes me up. So today is the 6th of July.
I thought this was the perfect 4th of July, though. You get the Friday off, and then you reset, because if it would be on Sunday and you'd get the 5th off, then this whole week would be kind of thrown into whatever. And I can't wait. Jesse's break patterns doesn't make any sense to me either. He takes 2 days off to come back to work for 2 days and then drive back to take another weekend. because it's too long of a break? I'm confused by all of that.
Is there a limit
here nor there?
Is there a limit to how long you want to spend? And again, I know there's some controversy as to whether Crivets constitutes up north or not. But do you only go for short spurts, or if you go up to the more traditional up north, do you go for longer periods? These are outside my area of expertise.
Yeah, I always look at it usually as like it's 3 days is about where I like being. And after that, you start getting a little antsy. If it's, if you go up north and you're boating and fishing, that's all great. But after about 3 days, you kind of start thinking, it's probably time to get moving.
We look forward to Jesse returning. We are lucky to have a variety of more than accomplished producers to fill in for him. I know one of them, Wooly, is working feverishly to get the video component of Shawn Eichorst joining us to function properly. We have had this issue a few times over the years. Video is just not we're not particularly telegenic, and we occasionally struggle with the technology of it. So we will continue to effort on that. Tausch, I am curious, and again, the introduction of Shawn Eichorst is tomorrow, not today, but he is joining us today momentarily, hopefully. I am curious. One of the things that we talked about as this news started to leak out is how different football and college athletics as a whole are today versus when Shawn was at UW the first time and when he was at Miami and at Nebraska. Do you get any sense at all, you were mentioning FIFA and the IOC, do you get any sense at all that there is more normalcy starting to come down the road for college athletics, or do you still have the same apprehensions that you've had the whole time?
No, and that is one of the things I'll be curious to hear from Shawn about, and it sounds as if Shawn is ready. So instead of me bloviating about where my head is at, we could go, there he is.
Hey, boys.
So
Shawn,
how we doing today?
We're great. Hey, is Crivets, you're a Wisconsin guy, is Crivets up north or not?
Yes. Did I get that right?
It is. Shawn, don't you think Highway 29?
So that's good.
Come on,
Highway
guys,
29 is the line of demarcation, right? Or do you go up further?
Hey, I go anywhere. Up, down, left, right. I'll go anywhere in this state. I love this state. You guys know that. Hey, Tausch, Jason, great to be with you guys this morning. I'm fired up to be back home.
We're fired up to have you. And we're fired up that Wooly got the video connection to work, so we appreciate him doing that. Let's start with the obvious question, though, and then we'll get to more fun. I was just asking Tausch this, and he unexpectedly used the word bloviate, which I wasn't quite ready for either. Let's talk about the world that we live in now and the world that you are stepping back into as the Wisconsin athletic director. You knew Tausch years ago. You were here at Wisconsin for a long time. You're a Wisconsin guy. You go to Miami. You go to Nebraska. I don't know. You might as well be Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch, though, with your experience during that era, right? Everything is so different now. How are you going to attack this job, and how did your time at Texas in today's college landscape help prepare you for this now?
Well, I'm going to attack it just like I've attacked every day since I've been in college athletics, and that's with positivity and education at the heart of everything we do. And so, things have changed over the 2.5 decades that I've been involved in college athletics. It's always been about change and innovation and creativity. We're in an environment now in college athletics where there's less restrictions than ever. And there's not as much regulation as there once was. And so I think we're just trying to figure out how to operate in that ecosystem in a way that not only serves the universities, these great public and private universities, but more importantly, how the athletics department serves those universities and our young people. I'm really excited. I have been, back in 2010, 2011, when I transitioned to Miami, I was really all about trying to find ways to get more benefits to our student athletes. always felt like we were too restrictive in those areas. And, at times especially now, we've swung to the other end, and we're just trying to find that balance. But if we can come together and work on this together, we'll be fine. So change is inevitable. The great ones adjust. And so I feel really good about the journey that I've been on. I've learned a ton. I've grown a ton. I've been knocked on my ass a few times. But that's what athletics is all about. That's the great thing about athletics. You know how to get up and move forward and be resilient.
Shawn, when you talk about
what have you learned from your time at Texas? Because I know you're going to do your press conference tomorrow, and when the announcement was kind of unofficially brought to us a couple days ago, people want to talk to you about, I'm sure going to ask you about some of your other spots, but Texas, a lot of success down at Texas, and you were, a big part of that. Was it for the fundraising? What have you taken from your time at Texas that in this new era you're going to need to bring here to Wisconsin?
Well, great place. There's so many similarities between Texas and Wisconsin if you really look at it. And then people. It was all about the people. When we got there in 2018, things weren't great. Our structure wasn't great. Our foundation wasn't great. Some of our teams weren't performing at the level that we needed to perform. They needed to perform at. And so we went to work sort of laying the bricks of that foundation very, very tightly. In almost everything we were doing focused on our head coaches and our student athletes. And so there was no magic bullet with that one. There was no silver bullet with that one other than hard work and getting the right people in the right seats. And then as we started to do that, we started to win. And as we started to win, then of course, the flywheel starts. People are more interested in tickets. People are more interested in premium. People are more interested in sponsorships. All those things that, we've experienced here at Wisconsin at times in our history, you just got to build momentum, and you got to get people rolling in the right direction. Using Coach's old analogy, we were selling some blue sky early on. And then we just were able to hire some exceptional coaches and gave them the resources they needed, and we got the heck out of the way, and we let them do their deal. So there was a lot of hard work put in over the 8 years at Texas. I'm so appreciative of them and thankful for them for the opportunity. But we're going to bring a lot of that energy and some of those plans associated with people and being focused on our head coaches and our student athletes and get our arms around that deal. And then hopefully we can also build some momentum and get that flywheel going. And I tell you what, there's as much passion in this state as what we had there. And so, when you talk about that piece of it, you can't manufacture that deal. We've got passion. We've got a connection to this place. People love this place. They want us to be successful. So we just got to do those things fundamentally that can help us move forward. But it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. It's been 15 years since I've been here. A lot of familiar faces walking in the building today. And then some new faces, and the facilities have changed. And so I'm really looking forward to immersing myself in everything we got going on here at Madison. But there are a ton of similarities between Texas and Wisconsin. And so that gives me great hope. I'm really excited about what's in front of us.
So, Shawn, you said, speaking of head coaches, have you had a chance, and we all know football, obviously Texas, doesn't matter where football drives the bus, and I know, with Barry, it's always football, 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 and he's built a lot of other great things too, but football was the engine. Have you had a chance to catch up with Luke Fickell and kind of get an idea of where we're at from a football standpoint here?
I have. I've talked to Luke a couple times since it became official, and actually I've talked to every single head coach and connected with them over the last couple of days, and I'm really excited to get over and spend some more time with Luke. We didn't really talk much about football. We talked about family and all those things that are really important as you're developing a relationship. I hadn't really had a chance to know or work with Luke up to this point, but my deal is I'm just going to immerse myself in everything they're doing over there and listen and learn. And nobody's going to be a bigger supporter than me relative to what he's got going on. And I will say that about everything in this department. There's going to be a ton of support, and there's going to be times for us to step back and reflect and evaluate and all that other sort of stuff. But at this point in time, I'm just trying to build relationships, trying to get to know people, understand how they work, how they think, and then I can help them from a support perspective. And then, I've just had the great fortune of being around a lot of good ball coaches. My high school coach was fantastic. My college coaches were fantastic at Whitewater. And then getting an opportunity to work with Holtz and Spurrier and Barry, and now it was Steve at Texas. I feel like I relate well with coaches. I've never coached, so I never tell them that I'm going to put myself in their shoes. I just sit back and listen and try to provide support. It's a hard deal, as you know better than anyone. The margin here, especially today in this environment, is very, very thin. But we have a recipe here at Wisconsin for success, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we are relative to that recipe.
Talking with new University of Wisconsin Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst on Wilde and Tausch. All right, Shawn, from the jump, I obviously am familiar with your career and your time at UW, and I'm excited for your opportunity. But what I really liked hearing was that you got knocked on your ass a few times, because people love to kind of, I don't want to talk about that part of my career because that didn't go the way I wanted it to. So what did you take from your time at Nebraska that makes you a better athletic director now?
Growth, just having been through transition and being in an iconic place. I love my time there. I'm very respectful of my opportunity there. We worked our butts off. And I think by any measure over that period of time I was there, we had a ton of success when you kind of take a look at what happened before and then what's happened since. But it's just learning, it's growth. It's just like we teach our kids when they go to preschool or grade school or middle school or high school. You learn through adversity, and you learn character, integrity, and discipline. All those things we talk about in our programs, you got to look in the mirror. And so that's part of the journey. And resiliency is the key. And, growing up in a small town, Lone Rock, 45 minutes from Madison, farming town, arts town, all that kind of stuff. I've been knocked on my ass plenty of times in my lifetime. And I've always learned more from failure than I have from success. And so, but nobody's going to work harder at it than me. And being connected and build relationships. And, Tausch has been around me a ton. I mean, I'm about people. I love this state. I love this program. And, those are good things to start with. And then if you like being around people and more importantly, coaches, I think, good things can happen. But it's an obvious question. I get it. And, I think we've turned the page and moved on. And our great 8 years at Texas, I think, is more of a resemblance of where we're headed with respect to what I can bring to the table. But I get it. I own it.
Well, I try not to ask obvious questions, but some of them are unavoidable. Here's another one for you. How much influence was Barry Alvarez on you? Because, and look, obviously I covered Barry as a student reporter. He still gives me grief about my earring way back in the day. Tausch obviously played for him. But there are some younger Badgers fans, and we got the blowback of it. We were like, how do you not have Barry Alvarez on the committee and everything else? How do you take his influence on you and use that as a very positive thing, but also understand that there are people that maybe don't even quite understand how much he meant to this university?
Well, tremendous, iconic, legendary, all those things. I wish I was like Tausch. I wish I could have played for him. We have a deep relationship that's more about the things that matter than football and all that other sort of stuff. What I've learned from him is how to treat people and how to make a group of people come together and do something that they don't think they could do ever as individuals. Just the way he goes about it and the way he talks about it. He pays a lot of attention to histories and traditions and all those other sorts of things. And so, when I was at South Carolina with Coach Holtz, we talked about sort of some of the people that he had been around in the coaching business. And when this opportunity came, Lou had retired and Steve had taken over. But I talked to Lou about whether Wisconsin would be a good fit. And he's like, well, what are you talking about? He's like, you could put Barry Alvarez on any street corner in America and he'd be successful. And so I think that sums it up, right there. But I also think that he gets the bigger picture and how things in the landscape have changed. And so I'm going to lean into him. And I told him this the other day. I wasn't looking for his help to get this job because he had already prepared me for this job. I didn't need Coach out there banging on the table. You got to hire this guy. I didn't need that. And I actually didn't want that. What I wanted is that when I did get the job, that he'd come here and help me and be around and talk to our coaches and be a part of how we're recruiting and all those other sorts of things. I mean, you'd be crazy not to lean into that resource. And so, and the other thing is I want to make him proud. I mean, we all do, right, Tausch? I mean, you don't want to let that guy down. And so, there's a freedom with that in some ways. Early on in my career, as I was moving along the chairs, there's more pressure and anxiety with it because you're learning it as you go. And then you have all these mentors of yours that, really want you to do well. And it's more about proving them right than proving everybody else wrong, if that makes sense.
Well, Tausch got to play for Barry. You got to play for a legend, too, in Bob Brezowitz, and you played a hell of a lot more than Tausch did in college. So I am curious, when you look at how much your time at Wisconsin previously, you said it was 15 years ago, which is true, but did you get the sense, look, you had to crush the interview, otherwise they're not hiring you. That doesn't matter that you were here before. But the landscape being different, maybe it doesn't matter that you were here before. How do you think that factored in to you getting this opportunity?
I think the blend was really unique for me. I was able to have a sense of the DNA, the campus, the rhythm. I've been a lifelong learner, so leaning into the educational part, how iconic Wisconsin is. I mean, it's one of the finest universities in the world. Everybody knows that. Education, research, the Wisconsin idea, all that other sort of stuff. And so, having that sort of as a secondary nature for me, then kind of allowed me to be progressive as I talk to people about, what I've seen over the course of the last 25 years. I mean, I've had the great fortune of being in all Power Four conferences, right? I don't know how many of my colleagues have actually been in the room at all of those conferences. And so I think today more than ever, having that sort of experience and understanding, is important. But I think it allowed me to tell a story that was possibly different than anybody else that was pursuing the opportunity. And we've been very progressive at Texas, but we've also been very original to who we are, and we're going to do the same thing here. I mean, we're going to do the things that make us special, and we're going to make some adjustments to the extent that we need to make them, but we're always going to tie them back to who we are. And why wouldn't you? I mean, the strengths of this place, this is a destination place. And so, as you can imagine, there was a lot of preparation that went in to the evolution of getting this position, and I took it very, very seriously. And so it felt very natural to me. In many ways, I was able to just be free with what I see and what I think and all those other sorts of things. But certainly having a grounding in all the things that make Wisconsin special is helpful.
Shawn, one more for me. So I'm curious. I'm always fascinated by origin stories. And so you obviously have a successful career playing at Whitewater. You go to Marquette Law School. How do you end up going on this path? Does Whitewater need an athletic director and they say, hey, that captain from a few years ago, he went to law school, we could use him? Because when you look at where you start and now where you are now, I'm fascinated how this journey has gone for you.
It goes down to just fundamentals. So Dr. Galen Greenhill, who ultimately was the chancellor who hired me at Whitewater, was a provost And we just happened to be on the bus together to a road game for football. And so I had a great aspiration to get into the law, and he had a political science background, and we just talked, and so one thing led to another. And when I heard that Wisconsin Whitewater was going to hire a new athletic director, and at that time they had separate men's and women's departments. And so Diane Jones and Willie Myers, who I knew when I was a student athlete, were stepping down, and we were going to combine these departments. And one thing led to another, and I think my background in athletics and my background in the law and some organizational behavior stuff, politics, sort of came together, and one thing led to another, and I ended up in Whitewater at 31 with no experience in college athletics, and now it was Coach Brezowitz's supervisor with Jim Miller and Dave Vandermolen and that great staff. I'll tell you what, the coaches that Whitewater had as I was going through that program and the coaches they've had since are as good as any level I've been a part of. Those guys and gals could coach at this level any day of the week. And so that's kind of how the journey started, just opening yourself up when you're sitting on a bus and traveling somewhere. That's how these things happen. And if you're open to meeting people and talking to people, good things can happen. So it's been awesome. And I owe everything to Whitewater, and all the things that they're doing today, really special to me.
Shawn, last one for me as well, and I guess you have a ton of things that are going to be coming across your desk. What do you think is the biggest thing that, now that you're in that chair, that you're going to need to address to get Wisconsin to where you want it to be?
People. For me, it's just, and I've been saying it a bunch, but for me, it's just getting to learn what's going on, right? Listening to people, building relationships. At the end of the day, I think some of this stuff is fairly straightforward in the way you build a team. And so, Tausch, I'm going to spend a lot of time with our head coaches, and why wouldn't you? Some of them are as elite as you could find. And any company, nonprofit or church would love to have these people come in and talk to them about how you treat people, how you build teams. Then once you do that and you got trust and communication, and Tausch, the best teams you've ever been on, I bet you were managed in the locker room, right? It's an inside-out deal. And so you got to build an organization that can monitor itself and can lead itself. And the way you do that is really getting to understand people, what makes them go, getting them in the right seats, and then getting out of the way and giving them some resources and all that other sort of thing. So for me, it's just not assuming. And that's why I'm going to meet with our staff today. All of our staff, we're going to meet today at noon. And my message to them is got to serve this institution at the highest level. Athletics is at the best when it's serving the institution, right? You got to take care of our kids. It's all about our kids. And then you got to take care of our head coaches. Those are the key. That's the tip of the spear. And if we're focused on those things, then anything is possible. But I don't want to assume anything. I don't have an agenda. What I want to do is really get an understanding of everything we're doing right now. And then there's going to be time for us as a group, collectively, to make some decisions about an adjustment here or there. And hopefully we'll go on and win a bunch of games this fall. That takes a lot of, you're putting wins in the left column. That can solve a lot too, right? I think Barry said it best, winning's great for the soul. Well, we need to do some soul building around here. That's what I got to say. So that's going to take some time, and it's going to take some hard work, and it's got to take everybody kind of buying into it. And so we're going to find out pretty quickly on some of that stuff. But I'm excited to be here. I'm ready to get rolling.
All right, Shawn, I lied as I normally do in interviews. I have one more for you because I can't let you go, because everything you said I agree with. It's about this great institution that Tausch and I both graduated from. It's about people, players, coaches, students, everybody. Unfortunately, the reality of college athletics today is also it's about money. And that is the biggest challenge. How do you fit that part into all the other stuff that I love to talk about? And it's why I love college sports more than I love covering the NFL for 30 years and everything I've done, because that's, for me, college sports is different that way. And yet now it's not quite as different as it used to be. So how does the money component fit into the paradigm you just talked about with all the other important stuff?
Well, resources have always been important, right? Everybody's striving to have the resources they need to be successful. I think for me, the way I've looked at the economics of it is you just got to make appropriate investments. And I've seen a lot of people spend a lot of money and not do a lot of winning, right? We've seen that. You're not going to money whip this deal, in my opinion. Now, we're going to do the things that we need to do to build that foundation so that we can start to scale as we have success. But that's going to take some time. But when your teams are doing well and your fan base is really feeling good, you got pride and passion, we got that big time in spades, right? Then you can start to stretch your legs in tickets. You can start to stretch your legs in premium. You can start to stretch your legs in, in sponsorships. In all those verticals we're all talking about, right? Everybody wants to grow revenue. Everybody talks about innovation and creativity. Talk is cheap. You got to actually do it. And the way you do it is you got to build a program where people want to be a part of it, right? They don't want to just write checks out of the box unless they see some sort of return on their investment. And so my deal is to get my feet on the ground and talk to as many people. I've talked to probably our top 25 donors. I've talked to a lot of student athletes. I've talked to our head coaches, and I'm thanking them for all the things they've done for us. But most often what they're telling me is what can I do to help? And so what I would say is just your pride and your passion. Just bring positivity, bring optimism, right? Give these young people a chance, and they feel it. You know, the social media and the environment we are today, Jason, it's the difference between us and professional sports is education. You know, we talked about this amateurism stuff forever. That's not a thing anymore, right? The distinguishing factor for us today is education. And that is the most valuable resource that our society has. Young people in education, research, all those other sorts of things. So those wonderful pro franchises with their owners and all that money that they're spending, that's a different deal. And so we've got to do a better job distinguishing what it is that we do and why we do it. And then I think the rest will take care of itself. But I get it. Resources are really important, especially in an unregulated environment, okay? We've got to get this thing regulated in a way that makes sense for everybody so we can maintain the integrity of all the sports, because we want to be good in everything. We understand that football is the one pulling the train, right? So we'll focus on all of that. But I will say this. I've seen a lot of places do a really good job making investments in their support areas and in their sports, and they're not at the top of the heap and the amount of revenue that's being generated, if that makes sense. I think the other thing folks need to think about is the scale of our enterprises, right? You see a lot of different numbers from an economics perspective. Well, a lot of that's driven if you got a 100,000 seat stadium, right? You know, you got a 50,000, a 60,000, a 70, and 80. You know, those things all scale themselves. So what I would say to people as you dig into the economics, you got to understand what scale you're on, right? We're at a really good spot, but there are some schools we're going to compete against that they just have bigger stadiums, and they have a bigger platform in some ways to generate revenue. That doesn't make them any better than us. We're just going to have to be better with the resources we have and the investments we make, and that's Wisconsin. That's what we do best. Right? We work hard, we trust one another, we unite with one another, and we're a very resilient group of people, right? We've all been knocked on our ass, all right? But we get up and we're stronger than ever in those situations. So that was a long-winded response to your question about revenue, but that, to me, that's a buzz. Those are buzz terms. That'll take care of itself when we get this thing tight and rolling.
The pride of Lone Rock, Wisconsin, the pride of Auburndale, Wisconsin, and some guy from Milwaukee. What a joy it's been to have you, Shawn. We're really excited for you and Kristen and the boys, and we're really excited. We'll book you, every other week, you think, to talk with Tausch on the show? You think that works for your schedule? I know you got a lot on your plate, but...
I thought we'd do this weekly. What are we talking about? I'll probably get in trouble for saying that. You guys will get after my ass, but hey, I'm here. I'm open for business, man. You can't go. There's no hiding, right? I mean, here we are.
No, there isn't. We're excited for you, and we appreciate all your time today, Shawn. Thanks so much.
All right, guys. Take care.
That is new Wisconsin Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst. I think if you're a Badgers fan, you should walk away from that conversation feeling pretty good. We'll talk more about it next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
ESPN Wisconsin celebrates Wilde and Tausch's 10-year anniversary, presented by Steinhoffels.
Our very first guest, Aaron Rodgers. Give us an over-under on what number would you set for how many shows we do together?
Daily, 52 weeks in a year. I'm going to say you do about 230.
Wilde and Tausch's 10th anniversary is also brought to you by Sendix, by Outdoor Living Unlimited, by Gruber Law Offices, and by Events by Design.
Mark Tauscher here, and you know I love a smart play from the pocket. That's why I joined UW Credit Union. With their mobile banking app, I can make smart plays from anywhere. And with rewards checking perks like early payday, I score my money sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and make the smart play by becoming a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Greg from Burn Pit BBQ.
And I'm Owen.
As we get ready to celebrate the 4th of July, we're reminded that it's more than fireworks and cookouts.
It's about freedom, family, and the people who made those things possible.
As a Marine veteran and a dad, some of my favorite memories are gathered around the grill with family and friends.
That's what the holiday is all about. Slowing down, spending time together, and appreciating what we have.
From our family to yours, we hope they have a safe and meaningful Independence Day.
And if you're firing up the grill, make it a good one.
Happy 4th of July from Burn Pit BBQ.
Brian Butch here. From high school All-American to Division I to the pros, I've spent a lifetime putting in the work. And this 4th of July, Iron Jock is celebrating with one of our biggest deals of the summer. From June 25th through July 6th, get 40% off all Iron Jock gear with a minimum purchase of $50 using code ESPN40. Excludes clearance and gift cards. Whether you're training, traveling, grilling out, or just staying active this summer, Iron Jock gear is built to keep up. Our products are moisture-wicking, anti-static, built for performance, built to last, built in Wisconsin. Shop now at ironjock.com.
Sports are changing. Faster, stronger, smarter. So should your beer. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, crisp and refreshing, no extra baggage, built for people who go hard. Still drinking the same old light beer? You're stuck. Flight is changing the game. Level up. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. Wisconsin, are you keeping up? DJ Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Some companies build projects. At Professional Construction, Inc., we build relationships.
That means showing up early, taking pride in the details, and having each other's backs, on and off the job site.
We're looking for skilled carpenters who really care about their craft and want to be part of a team.
Not just another paycheck, but a place where the people you work with actually matter.
If you work hard, take pride in what you build, and want to join a tight-knit crew, then we'd love to meet you.
Apply today at professionalconstructioninc.com.
One of the most important concepts in sports is don't drop the ball. Are you dropping the ball with your estate plan? When was it last updated? Have you even done one at all? It's ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde for Walney Legal Group. There's a lot at stake for you and your family when it comes to wills, trusts, probate, and elder planning. At Walney Legal, that's all they do. Tailored documents. No confusing legal jargon. Just thoughtful guidance. Do the blocking and tackling to protect your family. Start a conversation today at walneylegal.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, 855 Pella WI, or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Everybody wants to grow revenue. Everybody talks about innovation and creativity. Talk is cheap. You got to actually do it. And the way you do it is you got to build a program where people want to be a part of it, right? They don't want to just write checks out of the box unless they see some sort of return on their investment.
That is new Wisconsin Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst here on Wilde and Tausch. If you missed any of that interview, you'll be able to find it. You can either rewind on our YouTube channels, or you'll be able to find it a little bit later on the ESPN Wisconsin app or wherever you get your podcasts. Look, I am one of those provincial Wisconsin people who I really like it when it's one of our guys. And I want to believe in our guys. Now, Chris McIntosh was also one of our guys. And Barry Alvarez was not a Wisconsin guy. He was a Nebraska guy, an Iowa guy, a Notre Dame guy, and then he became a Wisconsin guy. But the things that I think most of my Badger alumni friends and Badger fan friends want to hear, and he says it there, talk is cheap. Like, it's great. He can say whatever he needs to say to us. But he's got to do it. And it starts with football. I wasn't going to get into on my platform, on my soapbox about the importance of non-revenue sports. We'll save that for when he joins us every week. But the reality is, Tausch, that I think he is aware of where this athletic department is and where the football program is, and he knows he's got some work to do, and talking only goes so far. And if I was a Badgers fan, the talk I did hear, I would be encouraged by. Fair?
Yeah, I definitely think listening to what he had to say, the getting up off your keister when you get knocked down, you understood that the Nebraska component to his career was going to get discussed, and I'm sure tomorrow it'll get discussed in more detail. But the bottom line on this is he continued to come back to people, because that is what makes organizations special. Great leadership and letting people do what they do best, and making sure you have the right people in the right places, because generating revenue is, it's going to be a lot easier to do down in Texas than it is here. There's a lot of reasons for that, and he's mentioned scale and the fact that the stadium size, and nobody cares, though. Like, that's the bottom line on this, right? Is it's going to come down to putting together good teams, using the resources that you have in a really smart way, because not everybody can be the Los Angeles Dodgers. I said this last week, and I don't think by any stretch we're going to be in the Milwaukee Brewers situation where you're so far behind some of these other places, but we are not going to probably be able to compete on the revenue standpoint with the Ohio States and the Michigans. We can be closer to that than where I think the Brewers are with the Dodgers, but is it going to come down to, do we have the right coaches in place? Milwaukee, we obviously do. When you're looking at developing talent, that farm system, how you do that. Now, it's different, and this is where I think Shawn brought up some interesting points on getting this thing to be uniform so that everybody can at least understand the rules. Legislatively, that is probably out of his hands. But if you're a Badger fan and you believe that Barry Alvarez's model and how he approached things worked, you're going to listen to that interview and be very excited, because it feels like Shawn Eichorst has obviously learned a lot from Barry Alvarez. in hiring good people and letting them do their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn, I think, is evaluating, going to look at his entire department and making sure he has all those right people that can go out and do the job that is needed, because the task is very large that's at hand.
I want to delve a little bit more into the Barry Alvarez part of that, and I think Barry's going to join us a little bit later this week, because one of the things he said that you just mentioned resonated with me, because it's not just Barry Alvarez who would always say hire the right people and get out of their way. Someone who is also very dear to me, Bob Harlan, used to take that approach too, and that seemed to work pretty well at 1265 Lombardi Avenue. We'll get more into that when we kick off the 10 o'clock hour, which we will do in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, and beer fans, we've got something to cheer about. Michelob Ultra is the official beer sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026. So whether you call it soccer or football, it's time to get your game plan ready as the world's largest soccer tournament returns to the USA. Stop by Discount Liquor to pick up a 12-pack of Michelob Ultra and score a free Michelob Ultra soccer koozie. At Discount Liquor, we stock over 15,000 varieties of beer, wine, spirits, THCA, and non-alcoholic beverages, all at the lowest prices in town. From craft brews to hard-to-find whiskeys, we've got a lineup for you. So don't get caught off sides with an empty fridge. Stop into Discount Liquor and stock up before kickoff. Visit us in Milwaukee on 51st and Oklahoma, or in downtown Waukesha at Barstow and Maine.
Discount Liquor.
Summertime is when you'll find the largest selection of homes on the market.
But it's the bottom of the night, as it's also the time when homes move the quickest.
This is Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
And I'm Andrea Woshinski. With more buyers competing, preparation, speed, and expert local guidance can make all the difference.
Start your home journey today with our white glove service at wendorfteam.kw.com.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
A real estate team driven by faith, gratitude, and results.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
We are the home for all your Bucks coverage. 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
Time now for headlines as we predict what will happen on Sunday as the Packers take on the Vikings at Lambeau Field.
Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher.
I'm going to do something crazy.
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All studio at ESPN Milwaukee.
I'm going to say kissing cousins, pack bikes tie.
And celebrating 10 great years on ESPN Wisconsin.
He missed it again! And we'll end this crazy game in a tie. Oh, my goodness.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And I am curious what folks thought of our conversation. I have a specific question for Tausch that I want to ask here. But I would love your reaction on the Carbless Talk and Text line. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Liz is more. I personally felt that he checked every box of the things he should be saying, but as he himself said, talk is cheap. So I'm curious what Badgers fans and alumni who listen to that thought. Tausch, I have to ask this, though, because, and look, we call out our biases here, and I am biased in favor of Barry Alvarez. His first year as the head coach of the football team was my freshman year, so yes, I'm old. But the tried and true Wisconsin way, when you think about what Wisconsin was for most of my childhood growing up and what challenges it faced then, and then Pat Richter and Donna Shalala and Barry Alvarez turned those fortunes around, and by the time I was a senior, I was covering a Rose Bowl, which I never thought was possible. I can tell you that there are younger Badger fans and alumni who do not want to hear that he wants to encourage Barry Alvarez's input and wants to make him, as someone who mentored him and means a lot to him, that he would go to him for help. So how do we manage that group? And I don't want to say manage, like tell them what to think, but how do we kind of both mix the forward-thinking, this is a new world, with the value that Barry Alvarez has as an iconic person who held both the head coach job and the athletic director job, and also his hand-picked successor did not fare particularly well as his successor. How do we view that?
What I would say is, if you think that Barry Alvarez is going to be, a day-to-day operation and everything else, you're crazy. That's not
right.
That's not where he's at. This is Shawn Eichorst athletic department, and what I would say is, I don't care if it's Warren Buffett, doesn't matter what business you're in. These folks still want to have sounding boards and ideas that maybe they use, maybe they don't. But, Evan Cohen said this a few weeks ago. This athletic department has been at its best when Barry Alvarez has been involved to varying degrees. So do I think, hey, Barry, how are we going to generate more revenue? No, that's not where that would be. It would be more about his experiences and relationships with business owners, with business leaders, with donors, with coaches. The thing that stuck out to me, and I think one of the things that there's no doubt, that said Barry Alvarez written all over it. We've talked enough with Barry. Obviously, I've known Barry for a long time. Coaches are what drive the athletic department. Yes, you have people that are generating. Coaches putting good product on the field and having kids that play hard and work hard and get their degrees and all of those things. The education component to this, it's not about, it is about the growth and what this university can do. That is the difference. But going back to just having coaches that feel appreciated, that don't feel micromanaged, that give their kids and their department, their teams, the best chance to win, the resources that they need, that's what his job is. And it was abundantly clear he understands that, as he put it, in spades. That, I think, is very, being involved, making sure that you care, that those coaches know you care, and then giving them what they need to do it. And then it's on them if they don't get it and they get booted. That's all part of this, too, because the win columns, the old left side, the wins, that is what matters the most when it comes to getting fans excited, getting fans to want to invest, getting business leaders to want to have sponsorships and partnerships with those folks. It's because they see a product that they know resonates with people. And I think that is going to be job one for Shawn Eichorst.
Jeff in Greenfield on the text portion of the Carbless Talk and text line. Absolutely love this guy after hearing him speak. And believe me, I am not an easy sell. I also heard loud and clear that Coach Fickell better update his resume if he doesn't produce at least 8 or 9 wins. I didn't hear that. Did my audio go out? It's about time a hire like this was made. That's from Jeff in Greenfield. Look, I don't know what exactly Luke Fickell has to do to make a new athletic director feel good about the direction of the football program, but winning is one of them, no doubt about it. I am curious, though, because, and I always think of Riley Yauk. We love Riley. Young Riley's great. And he's a rising star on ESPN Wisconsin. And he what, I don't know, meh or mid. I don't know what the young person term was that he used.
It was meh.
After the news.
I can't confirm it was meh.
Meh, yeah, meh. I thought it was that. And I get it. I don't think Shawn Eichorst needed to come in and win you over or win me over, right? Because we're from that era and you played for Barry. I think some of the things he said, though, and especially when I came back with I lied, I have one more question about money, I thought that answer was a pretty damn good answer. And it included also the point that we always make on here, which is still it needs to be more regulated so the playing field is more level. But how does Shawn Eichorst go about winning over the Riley Yauks of the world, who are young guys and young alumni who maybe don't see the Barry Alvarez era the same way because they weren't alive for it, and maybe don't know exactly what his experience previously does for them in today's college landscape?
It's simple. It is winning, and it's about having those results because, yes, there's going to be skeptics of everything that is happening because of kind of how the last couple of football seasons have went, and that's completely fair to have happen. And until you show that things are headed in a direction that is more in line with where you're looking, everybody wants, it's like my old buddy T-Stro always used to tell me, a winner has 1,000 fathers and a loser's an orphan. That's what this is. Like, the best way to get a lot of folks to jump on board is by winning. You can look at the U.S. soccer team. There's a lot of folks that I think feel like I do that are now like, oh, well, they're winning. Hey, I'll tune in. I'll check it out. I'm more intrigued because they're now – everything keeps getting bigger and bigger. If they're playing a qualifier against Venezuela in a CONCACAF Cup or something else, I'm probably not that intrigued. But if they're playing in a Sweet 16 World Cup, same thing. You beat Notre Dame up at Lambeau, and all of a sudden everybody is going to be, oh, maybe it is a little different this time around. That's how you get the Riley Yauks and some of the other folks on board.
All right, we'll check in on the Carbless Talk and text line again, 844-770-3776.
I have a private text. I'm not going to say who it's from, but in kind of this same conversation we just were having, and it's NIL didn't exist when Barry was involved. Right. Funding of athletics and universities have changed significantly in perception of higher education. So with all due respect to Barry's great legacy, is he really in a position to provide relevant advice anymore? Which I thought was an interesting text. I would say yes. Now, again, I'm not saying you should have Barry Alvarez say we should do X amount of concerts and we should do this and we should utilize more. That is not what I'm saying. But I'll say this, his relationship building and how he approached going around and making the entire state feel like a part of it, not just Middleton and Verona and it's all throughout the state. And one of the things that you could hear in Shawn's voice was he wants to get out and meet people. He wants to have his people get out and meet people. Greg Gard is fantastic at this.
Yes.
Greg Gard, you will see him out at a steak fry. He'll be at a bingo hall. He is out pounding pavement and getting people, because that's retail politics 101. Hey, I'm going to like you a lot more if I have an interaction with you that's somewhat positive. It doesn't even have to be overly positive, somewhat positive. And I think that's something that we need to get back to.
That is a really good text from your unnamed private texter. I got a private text as well, which I will make public momentarily, from someone we may have been discussing there. Look, I would just say this about Barry Alvarez's influence. You take pieces of everyone that can help you be better at your job, but you take the pieces that you believe are applicable, right? You are not going to ask Barry Alvarez for a bunch of advice on NIL funding or NIL approach, because that is not his wheelhouse. But relationships, to your point, is a great example, right? And the approach that he took in the things that are still in existence in college athletics, I think he'd be a fool not to take advantage of them. We will get into another private text. His name rhymes with Riley Yauk. After Tausch tells us about American Family Insurance.
Well, just like a great team needs great protection, so does your family. Spent a career on the O-line, and trust me, you're going to know when you're protected. You're going to play a whole lot better. That's what American Family Insurance is all about. With the right home and auto coverage, they'll help protect what you've worked hard for and the dreams that you're building for the future. That way you can focus on family and not the what-ifs. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
What does Riley think? He sent me a text, but is he in the office? Like, is he? Do you just want to go get him and have him sit in the studio, Wooly?
I did just poke my head out there. I do not see him here, so he might be listening from home. Whenever he does get here, he is more than welcome to go sit in there, yeah.
I will, well, young Riley did send me a text, and I will read it to everyone. I'll read it to the class. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. All the antics.
We had the same situation when I played with Holmgren.
You okay?
I almost broke my chair.
Yeah, you almost fell out of your chair there.
All the action.
Micah Parsons is healthy, and if Tucker Kraft is healthy, the Packers are in that Super Bowl. I think that they would have run through the NFC. I think they beat Seattle. I think that they are the NFC representative in that game.
The best of both worlds lives right here. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Celebrate and save big during Steinhaffel's Furniture and Mattress 4th of July sale. Save up to 30% store-wide, then take $75 off every $7.99 you spend. And we make buying your new room easy with our special 60-month 0% financing. Plus, take an extra 15% off our already low-priced clearance. And don't forget about the amazing doorbusters throughout the store. It's Steinhaffel's 4th of July sale. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Some nights, you don't want a 4-course meal, you want a martini and maybe some fries. Girl dinner at the bar at St. Kate the Arts Hotel gets it. Every day from 4 until close, pull up a stool and enjoy a crisp Caesar salad, golden French fries with garlic aioli and ketchup, and one of St. Kate's signature martinis. Your call. No reservations required. You can learn more at stkatearts.com, stkatearts.com.
Every homeowner has a list. That roof, those windows, that bathroom you've been meaning to update. If you've been putting off home improvements, you're not alone. At Exterior Pros and Baths, they help homeowners upgrade their homes with beautiful roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutters, and bathrooms built to last. Right now, save up to $3,000 on your next project. Don't wait until a small problem becomes an expensive one. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com. Exterior Pros and Baths. Done right, built to last.
Wisconsin State Fair turns 175 this summer, and we only get better with age. Join us for 11 days of fun, iconic traditions, grand champion moments, and food that's absolutely worth the hype. Celebrate 175 years together and get your tickets today at wistatefair.com. Wisconsin State Fair, presented by T-Mobile, August 6th through 16th. We'll see you there.
The biggest sporting event in the world, and a superior light beer to match it. From the pitch to the pour, Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 26. Enjoy Michelob Ultra while watching FIFA World Cup 26 at Zocalo Milwaukee, Social House Menominee Falls, Nomad World Pub Milwaukee, and Three Lions Shorewood. Michelob Ultra, enjoy responsibly. 2026 Anheuser-Busch, Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Well, so much for reading Riley Yauk's text message. No, I didn't inadvertently delete it. There's no need. Because he has now arrived in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. Good morning, young Riley. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, we're happy to have you as a guest. Are you producing our show at any point with Jesse, or are you too busy with the afternoon show, Molly and the other guy?
Yeah, I believe I'm a little busy with Molly and Jim this week. I did not see my name on the content schedule filling in with you guys, unfortunately.
Well, you'll have to give us an update on your love life some other time. But we would like, because you. Oh, good. I'm glad. Okay. You are from a different era of Wisconsin alumni than Tausch and I are. So your text I was encouraged to read, even though you're not as hard to win over as Jim and Greenfield, perhaps, maybe. But what did you think as you listened to Shawn Eichorst as you were making your way to the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios?
Yeah, I really liked what I heard. And just to sort of echo what I texted you, I think my favorite answer he gave was on that final money question, where he emphasized how much, you can just tell he's a really smart guy. He knows what he's talking about. He has been here before, especially with his time at Texas. And I think one of the nuggets that stuck out to me is that he's already talked to the top 25 donors. That gave me a lot of encouragement. That relieved some of my anxieties because he's talking about people first. But I think one of the YouTube comments mentioned he hadn't mentioned donors. He hadn't mentioned boosters yet. And then he said, oh, yeah, I've already talked to the top 25 guys who are giving us money. That makes me happy when it comes to thinking about Wisconsin being competitive, monetarily speaking. But the biggest thing, he seems to be incredibly people-focused, which I think regardless of what era you're an alumni of, how old you are as a fan, you can get behind someone who is saying, I want to put the right people in place and let them be great. And that's why I think, Tausch, you were reading those texts about, Barry's not going to be advising Eichorst on NIL legislation or anything like that. But everyone loves Barry. I love Barry. I produce for Barry. But just because I don't think he needs to be involved in every decision ever made at the University of Wisconsin doesn't mean he can't be useful when it comes to winning over people in the state and people who are surrounding the University of Wisconsin. So I liked what I heard, especially with that last answer, and the fact that he seems to be very focused on building relationships. That's encouraging to me.
Well, then I'm glad that I lied and add that final question. So you have gone from meh to something much better than meh.
Yes.
Acknowledging that talk is cheap, as he said himself, and now it's time to get to work.
Yes, exactly. And I hope I had one guy after I made we posted the take of me saying that this feels like Mac 2.0, which it did feel like he's Nebraska's Mac. If you talk to Nebraska fans, I'm assuming most of them would feel the same way that a lot of us Badgers fans feel about Mac. That's how it felt to me initially. I didn't have a lot of reasons to be excited. But I said, I want to be excited. I don't think I'm the hardest person, the hardest Badgers fan in the world to win over. And what he said is getting me excited about the future of the Wisconsin Athletic Department. I really like the direction he seems to want to go.
And those Nebraska fans that you spoke with, those are all friends of yours that you made when you went to the College World Series in Omaha and were wearing no, you went to the SEC tournament.
Exactly.
What am I thinking?
Yes. I do have some friends from Nebraska, though.
You do. And that was the feedback you got from them.
Yes. They are also younger, so their perspective is probably a little jaded, maybe a little less intensive than people who were older and not my age back in the mid-2010s. But yeah,
we need
they weren't
people
a fan.
like them and you, though. We need people like them and you because you do bring a different perspective.
Here's what I would say, and you know what, Riley is a young, energetic Badger fan. He just wants to have some hope. He wants you to throw him a little bit. And you mentioned the donors. You would think that this isn't probably that big a deal that, Shawn Eichorst would give, 25 top donors a call. But I can tell you that it does, because people don't want to just write a check. And that comes from, I don't care how small of a donor you are or a big donor. They want to feel like they have access, and they want to feel like they're a part of it. Riley wants to feel like he's a part of it. He wants the athletic director, the head ball coach, it doesn't matter what sport, if there's a time where they can get a handshake and a thanks for supporting us, for a lot of people it's like, what the hell, it doesn't matter. But that's not the reality. It does matter. And retail politics and the personal touches of doing little things like that make huge differences, especially when things aren't going well. Especially when, you need some support. You don't need everybody, because I'll tell you this. If you don't do those things and you don't win, you're going to get buried. If you do those things, people will give you a little longer rope. People will say, let's let them work through some stuff. And Shawn Eichorst also said numerous times, it's going to take time. This isn't going to be a snap fix. Like, we're going to be great. But he knows what big boy budgets look like. He knows where this revenue is. He knows to compete with the Texases and the Ohio States, we're going to have to grow revenue. And it's really difficult to just come in day one and say, well, this is how we're going to do it. Well, you better start planting and letting things grow than just say, hey, Jack, give me a beanstalk. I need to climb to the college football playoffs. Well, you know something? I better give you some seeds and some water, and then I got to have a little sunshine. And you know what? It might not grow to the top right away. I might need to replant, and I might need to plant more, because maybe that first beanstalk ain't going to get me there. I might need to plant 3-4 different beanstalks in order to get to the college football playoff. Because I'm certain Jack's story ain't going to be that great if it was Jack and the beanstalk that dwindled and didn't get enough sun or didn't get enough water and ended up shrinking and we got nothing.
Need some
Shawn
GMO
Eichorst wants to get he wants to get some beanstalks so he can climb, and that takes some time.
Riley, I know you have other responsibilities. We may keep you for another segment. I do have a question to follow up with Tausch. And by the way, I know you were critical of the window analogy and the glazing it received. I don't know if the beanstalk is just, hey, Jack, get me a beanstalk, but that was good stuff. I really enjoyed that as well. And then is the golden goose at the top of aren't the golden eggs at the top of the beanstalk? Am I conflating two different fairy tales? I feel like that's what is like, you get up there, you get to the golden eggs, and then you've got what you need for your athletic department. I want to ask Tausch a question about retail politics.
Do golden eggs have white on them, or is it all yolk?
It's a good question.
That's a great question. I'm more of a chocolate egg guy. But before we get to that, Tausch needs to tell us about Annex Wealth Management, which knows a thing or two about being big donors and having people with money.
Indeed, and life events. And if you experienced some over the past couple of years, well, we all have. Change, as we heard Shawn Eichorst say, change is constant, whether it's the sale of a company, death, divorce, health crisis, helping to pay for college or a wedding. Well, I'm sure the Swifts probably have to look into doing that. Annex Wealth Management has assisted clients with life events, but planning for them can make all the difference in the world. Knowing what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it is a big part of smart financial planning. That sounds like athletic department stuff. Probably
Indeed.
all those things would fit. Annex has an entire in-house team that works together so you can make informed decisions when life events come up. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com so you can get started on your growth of beanstalks or whatever you're trying to grow in your life.
I love Matt LePay. Didn't have a Jack and the Beanstalk comp on my bingo card for today. No, I didn't either, but that's what makes this show great, is Old T. By the way, for those of you that are not Jack and the Beanstalk aficionados, per Wikipedia, a poor boy trades his family's cow for magic beans, which grow into a giant beanstalk reaching the clouds. Jack climbs it to find a giant's castle where he steals treasures like a hen that lays golden eggs. So I'm not crazy. I want to ask Tausch a question about retail politics. Riley, can you stick around for another segment?
Yeah, I got time.
All right, more next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Vortex Golf makes rangefinders for serious golfers who need an accurate number every time. With 3 options, the Blade, Blade Slope, and Anarch, there's a Vortex rangefinder that fits your game. Crystal clear optics and features like image stabilization keep you steady in big moments. Plus, every Vortex Golf product is backed by a no-questions-asked lifetime warranty. If you're looking for an accurate number every time, Vortex Golf belongs on your bag. Grab yours and everything you need for golf season in Wisconsin at Shields.com.
At Associated Bank, we thought about speaking like other banks with hoity-toity names like Total Privilege Pay or something. But we don't speak bankish, we speak your language. When we say 2-day early pay, we mean you get paid 2 days early. $50 overdraft grace zone? That's a grace zone of up to $50 if overdrafts happen. And maintenance fee-free account? Well, that speaks for itself. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our great friends at Road America. Turn your day into an experience at Road America. Just a short drive from Milwaukee and Green Bay, this legendary track offers more than just racing. Walk the grounds, explore every corner, and watch action from wherever you want. Kids 16 and under get in free with a paying adult at the gate. And on-site camping lets you stay all weekend. WeatherTech Vintage Weekend with Brian Redmond is coming to Road America July 16th through the 19th. Great food, great views, and non-stop action. Road America, where racing meets the outdoors. Check out roadamerica.com.
Some companies build projects. At Professional Construction, Inc., we build relationships.
That means showing up early, taking pride in the details, and having each other's backs, on and off the job site.
We're looking for skilled carpenters who really care about their craft and want to be part of a team.
Not just another paycheck, but a place where the people you work with actually matter.
If you work hard, take pride in what you build, and want to join a tight-knit crew, then we'd love to meet you.
Apply today at professionalconstructioninc.com.
Feels like the world is a little broken lately.
Maybe all we need is a fix. Most spirits are acidic. Fix Vodka is different. Fix Vodka is the world's first high-alkaline, acid-free vodka. Handcrafted with natural spring water and select grain. Clean, smooth, done right. Better water, better vodka. Get your local Fix.
Fix Vodka.
Enjoy responsibly.
It's a winning explosion at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. This July, Winplosion rockets in, bursting with $300,000 in cash and reward play. For your shot at winning, just play with your rewards card. Then join us for the Thursday night prize drawings. Plus, every Winplosion entry also counts toward the big WinFest Grand Finale in September. It's Winplosion. Big bang, big bucks. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Best time of the year, it's patio season. Hey, it's Alex Strofe, and no better place to soak in patio season than Veer North on Milwaukee's east side. Veer North brings the energy with a spacious patio, elevated food, and craft cocktails perfect for summer nights. Headed to a game? Start here and hop on the shuttle straight to the ballpark. Same goes for Summerfest and all your favorite festivals, pregame, postgame, or stay for the whole night. Live music, great vibes, and a menu that goes way beyond the basics. Veer North is not your average sports bar. Veer North, Milwaukee's go-to for summer fun.
One of the most important concepts in sports is don't drop the ball. Are you dropping the ball with your estate plan? When was it last updated? Have you even done one at all? It's ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde for Walney Legal Group. There's a lot at stake for you and your family when it comes to wills, trusts, probate, and elder planning. At Walney Legal, that's all they do. Tailored documents. No confusing legal jargon. Just thoughtful guidance. Do the blocking and tackling to protect your family. Start a conversation today at walneylegal.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, 855 Pella WI, or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Wilde and Tausch and Riley and Wooly and Fee-Fi Fo-Fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman, which is what the Giant says in Jack and the Beanstalk. All right, Tausch, I need to ask you this. Jennifer in the YouTube comments says, 10-year volleyball season ticket holder here. Never once saw Mac at a match, even during the national championship run and the huge growth. I hope Shawn is different. Now, again, that is anecdotal. I don't know. I don't know how many times Mac went to a volleyball match. But I would say this. You said about retail politics. Is that something that there were those who criticized Mac for not doing as extensively as maybe he could have or should have or would have? Was that not the club that he had in his bag that he was most comfortable with? Or how do you kind of view that? Because it sure sounds, it's kind of like NFL coaches, right? Like the Minnesota Vikings had Mike Tice, and he was kind of loosey-goosey, and so they brought in Chile now to give them a measure of discipline, right? And so I'm curious, do you feel like Shawn Eichorst is a little bit at the opposite end in terms of the engagement factor, or do you think it's just a lesson that he took from the previous administration?
I think when you can look back at how people spend their time and what they do, I think Shawn Eichorst is obviously looking at this and saying this is going to be something important. There's no doubt that there are. And part of it is, there are a lot of tough decisions that had to be made in the last time. I know the track and field saga, the Hall of Fame saga that all played out, that I think soured a lot of folks. And those are things that I'm sure Shawn is looking at, saying we need to improve upon not only the PR standpoint on that, but it's more so how you make people feel. When you're in a room, you can't be everywhere. If you're an athletic director, if you're a ball coach, especially in today's day and age when you have to constantly be recruiting, it's when you are there, how do you make those folks feel? And I think Shawn has seen probably down at Texas and how that world works, you need to be out there. You need to put yourself out, and you need to show coaches that it's important to you. You need to show the fans. I think it's always great. You know, you see Barry Alvarez, I don't know if that was at a Final Four game where he does that little thumbs up bit.
Uh-huh.
Just being out there and doing those things to say, we're here, we're supporting. I don't know how much he knows about volleyball. I don't know any of it, but I know this. It's about supporting your coaches and your players and your fans in a big way, and that is a huge task. And I do think that's an important part of the job that Shawn Eichorst just jumped into.
Riley, one more thing for you before we let you go do your other parts of your job. Shawn Eichorst mentioned his time at Texas and where their football program was. I know a lot of us, including myself, if I had not looked it up, we think of Texas as a perennial power and loaded with NIL money. In the years before he arrived, and is it Chris Del Conte who was their athletic director that he worked under? Texas football from 2014 through 2017, the 4 seasons leading into that change in administration, 6-7, 5-7, 5-7, and 7-6. After that, 10-4, 8-5, 7-3. They had a setback with Sarkisian in 2021, but the last 3 years, 12-2, 13-3, 10-3, reaching the college football playoff 2 years ago. So, look, that all matters. My question for you, Riley, is you are there for Wisconsin College game day. You're closer to the student population than we are age-wise. Tausch and I say it all. It's all about football, and then everything else comes from that. From your perspective, when you look at the Wisconsin football program and the season that's ahead, what do you want to see that will tell you that there has been meaningful growth that will keep you on the Eichorst bandwagon, which you have now jumped on?
Yeah, I think it comes down to, me and Jim were talking about this, I believe it was last week or 2 weeks ago on the Jump Around, in regards to how Wisconsin looks against Notre Dame. How do they play Notre Dame? Is that going to set the tone for the season? And I understand Notre Dame is a top 5 football team. They're a national championship contender. But how does the team look? That's what I want to see. Like, are they making the little mistakes? Are they playing what we know as Wisconsin Badgers football? And I believe Eichorst referenced it, that we have a way here at Wisconsin that works. Not that it necessarily needs to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but is everything in sync? Are the players dialed in? Like, it's more so, how does this team look? Are they a cohesive unit? We also had the opportunity to talk to Nazir Forkarine a few months ago, and he said last year there was more togetherness, there was more bondedness on last year's team than any other team in the Luke Fickell era, and they had the worst record out of any team in the Luke Fickell era. So does that carry over? Can we see them build on the momentum from those big Washington and big Illinois upsets? That's what I want to see. It's not necessarily, it's obviously wins and losses. I want to see 8 to 9 wins. But it's more so, does it look more like Wisconsin football? Does it look like how we're used to seeing it when they were getting 10 wins a year, when they were playing under Barry, when they were playing under Brett, when they were playing under Christ? And you ask about the student perspective, I'm in the minority of liking Luke Fickell and wanting Luke Fickell to succeed. I think when it comes to the student population and the younger generation, I think a lot of my fellow students and a lot of the fellow young people who got into school right when Fickell was starting, I believe it was my sophomore year when the Fickell regime started, and we were all super excited. This is going to be awesome. We're going to get to see the best era of Wisconsin football ever. I think a lot of young people feel snake bitten by the Luke Fickell regime. They came in with so much excitement, so much pomp and circumstance, and now they haven't been at all where we've wanted to see them. So I think a lot of people are already out on Fickell right now when it comes to the younger population. I think that they can turn it around. I think he can succeed. I want to see them succeed. I want Fickell to be here for 5, 10, 15 plus years. But right now, they're going to need to do a lot to win back the younger crowd.
Riley, that can all change in, what do we have, 2 months?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That can all change with one night up at Lambeau Field. In
Yep.
All right, Riley. I don't really need, when I say my freshman year was Barry Alvarez's first year, and you saying, "Oh, Fickle came my sophomore year." I didn't need that.
Sorry.
So we're gonna say goodbye to our young correspondents, and let you get to your other activities. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
That's why I said the toughest part to me for the Packers is that the division is, I think, better than it's been.
The best 60 minutes of your day happens on the Homer Hour.
So the issue is, and I'm working on the T-shirt right now, this season is very simple.
This guy.
Got to win the damn division.
Weekday afternoons from 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. When it comes to a home mortgage, we understand you want a simple, stress-free process, great service, and a loan you can feel good about. And for 90 years, that's exactly how we've been doing things at Great Midwest Bank. So if you're thinking about buying, building, renovating, or refinancing, get started at GreatMidwestBank.com to find a knowledgeable loan officer and get the peace of mind you deserve. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
When your team needs custom gear, don't wing it. Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more is your local partner for high-quality apparel with hands-on design help and services that actually feel, well, helpful. For your business, teams, or events, Big Frog makes it easy. Visit bigfrog.com/Mequon today.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling. Trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirits deals in town. Located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
Plenty of good news over the holiday weekend for the Milwaukee Brewers, aside from a series win over the Arizona Diamondbacks. 2 Brewers are heading back to the All-Star game. For the 3rd time, William Contreras was selected as a National League catcher, and for the 2nd straight year, the flamethrower Jacob Misiorowski is headed to the Midsummer Classic. Misiorowski speaking to the media, courtesy of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel.
I feel about the same as last year. It's still an honor. It's just shows how much work me and William have done behind the plate, and it's awesome. It's awesome that it's finally coming together.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Until justice stands for all, our lawyers will never rest. More at earthjustice.org/neverrest. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
All right, we'll kick off the 11 o'clock hour momentarily, but Tausch is going to tell us about UW Credit Union, which I assume Shawn Eichorst just remained after he left UW. But first, do you have one more text, Wooly, that you liked from the Carbless Talk and text line before we pivot in the 11 o'clock hour?
Yeah, I think there was a great one here from Maddie Kunin on the Carbless ESPN Madison Talk and text line. Just honestly, the fact that a lot of things that Shawn didn't say, you could tell it feels like there's a true self-awareness from him about what wasn't going right and what needs to change for Wisconsin. And I feel like Matt lays that out here pretty well. But I think just in general, like knowing that you have to connect with fans again is the number one most important thing. And I think everyone's hammered that home. Everyone realizes that's the thing that needs to change.
Matt's text is this: I like what I heard, but today is the least important day of his tenure, so I don't take a ton from it. I was most encouraged by what he didn't explicitly say. There were a couple of moments where I felt he was about to say, shape up or ship out for those who aren't on board. Look, the reality, again, and Tausch, you know this as well as anyone, and you were part of the salad days of the athletic department and back-to-back Rose Bowls and everything else, is that, as we talk about all the time, it is a difficult landscape to navigate, but that doesn't change the fact that you have to navigate it. And that was one of the things that I liked about it, what we heard from him, is that he acknowledges that, look, yeah, it needs to be better regulated, this and that, and bigger stadiums and everything else. But the bottom line, as you always say, is win. That's what it's about. And they need to do that. And I think he more than understands that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think you can always kind of tell, that he has not even been formally announced yet, but you can always kind of tell where someone's top priority is by what they continue to message and what they say. And I think it was fairly obvious, he understands that the Nebraska era of his tenure is going to get talked about, and the resiliency part of it, you find that piece of it out. And then I don't know how many times he said the people, the fans, the coaches. It comes down to that is where his focus is going to be. There's only 24 hours in a day, and you want to be everything to everybody. But those points were pounded home by Shawn, and I'm sure when he was interviewed and how that process went, that was what he continued to reiterate, because there is no doubt that the fans in the state of Wisconsin have a ton of pride and a ton of passion for their teams. We know that as well as anybody in doing this show 10 years and feeling it and having a job because of that. Mm-hmm. And it's on the leaders, whether it's the Packers, Brewers, Badgers, et cetera, to give the fans something to get excited and passionate about. Because we've seen on the other side of it, luckily for us, it hasn't been a ton. But we saw that passion leave the building down at Fiserv the last 2 months of the season. Now it's up to the new era to reset that. You could say the same thing from a football standpoint here. Shawn Eichorst knows that that's what's going to be his defining deal, and making sure he has the right people in place to do their jobs is at the top of his list. And that's when I asked that question, what's the biggest thing? Mm-hmm. I don't think I finished a sentence, and he said people. People. That's what's going to turn it around.
All right, we'll get to the 11 o'clock hour, which will include trivia and Wooly, but we can't get there until Tausch tells us about UW Credit Union.
Well, I am a UW Credit Union member, and for every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here forever you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years, they're going to help you reach your financial goals. Members, they can get their money up to 2 days sooner with early payday, and, of course, their great mobile app that I've talked to you about for years. It is fantastic. Simple way to check accounts, make transfers, and more. That is a smart play from the Pocket. Join today at uwcu.org, insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
We kick off the 11 o'clock hour in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
What life events have you experienced over the past couple of years? Well, maybe one is coming up. The sale of a company, death, divorce, a health crisis, or helping to pay for college or a wedding. Well, Annex Wealth Management has assisted clients with life events, but planning for them can make all the difference. Knowing what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it is a big part of smart financial planning. Annex has an entire in-house team that works together so you can make informed decisions when life events come up. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Celebrate and save big during Steinhaffel's Furniture and Mattress 4th of July sale. Save up to 30% store-wide, then take $75 off every $7.99 you spend. And we make buying your new room easy with our special 60-month 0% financing. Plus, take an extra 15% off our already low-priced clearance. And don't forget about the amazing doorbusters throughout the store. It's Steinhaffel's 4th of July sale. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
It's a summer of big wins with WinFest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Just play with your Potawatomi Rewards card for entries and your chance to win cash and reward play all summer long. Then keep the excitement going because all your monthly drawing entries roll over into the WinFest final drawings on September 25th, where you could win cars, dream vacations, free play, and cash. Don't miss out on WinFest, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geisdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Tune into the Rich Eisen Show weekdays from 12 to 2, right here on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
Joining us now is the Green Bay Packers' new head coach, Matt LaFleur on Wilde and Tausch.
Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher.
Matt LaFleur, Matt Nagy, and Matt Patricia. Who is the most famous non-NFC North head coach not named Matt? No, I'm sorry.
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All studio at ESPN Milwaukee.
Who is the most famous non-NFC North head coach named Matt? Matt Damon, Matt Ryan, somebody else.
And celebrating 10 great years on ESPN Wisconsin.
Can you repeat that question?
Sorry.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Some breaking news from the NFL, and obviously this is not like massive breaking news, but it does, again, reiterate to me, anyway, about where I kind of feel like the Packers roster is at its most uncertain. And it's not the offensive line. It is the cornerback group. Veteran free agent cornerback Rasul Douglas signing a 1-year deal with the Washington Commanders. Tausch, obviously, we were never expecting the Packers to sign Rasul Douglas, although they have added more 30-somethings than we're accustomed to them adding. Is that still, like, I saw that and my first thought was not, hey, good for Rasul. That was my second thought. My first thought was, man, I just don't know how I feel about the depth at their cornerback group. Are you in that same group, or am I alone in that opinion?
No, I think that's obviously we saw them approach or address that spot in the draft with 2 picks. And I think Rasul Douglas, there must have been more to that story because he came in, no expectations as they basically picked him up, June, July-ish.
No, they signed him off the Arizona Cardinals practice squad. Like he wasn't even playing.
Very good player. Yeah, he was a very good player for the Green Bay Packers. And then all of a sudden, you just trade him. And you ended up getting good value back. I think they traded him to Buffalo. And you got good value back. And you always just kind of wonder, if that is the case and you need depth and you have injuries and you have, last year I know they went and ended up bringing Diggs from Dallas in late in the season, took a flyer on him. I always am kind of curious. There must be more to that story, or why wouldn't Sewell have been someone that you brought back because he knew the system, good football player, and this time of year I understand why you don't, but when you start getting into September, October, and you feel like your depth isn't where it needs to be, I always why not go back to the guy that you know really well and know what you're getting, unless there been something that popped up or you just feel like their skills have eroded, which does happen. And so I always was kind of envisioning Sewell coming back to Green Bay at some point, and now obviously when this happens, he signs somewhere in July. Usually that means, at least for this next season, that's not going to be the case.
The Packers have added veteran presence. I did a little thing for the News 3 Now. News at 10 last night on Zaire Franklin, and he is one of now 4, having celebrated his 30th birthday while America was celebrating its 250th. He is now the 4th member of the 30-something crew on the Packers roster. The others, again, are backup quarterback Tyrod Taylor, Javon Hargrave, who is 33, who they picked up in free agency, and Matt Orzech, their long snapper. So those are the 4 that have had their 30th birthday. This is the kind of window before training camp starts, and then once training camp gets underway at the end of the month, when maybe you add another guy or 2 to your roster. But generally speaking, at this point in the year, Tausch, this is your team, right? And if injuries happen, then you'll maybe add somebody. But I don't think, Rasul going to Washington notwithstanding, I don't see any significant additions between now and the start of camp. Do you?
No, I mean, there's always things that pop up, and especially with injuries that occur during training camp, you start maybe sniffing around a little bit more. Maybe, we probably could have had this conversation last year at this time, and then, a week before the season starts, Micah Parsons falls into your lap. So you never know what is going on at other places, because coaches will always tell you, you're competing, don't count the numbers of how many guys are at this spot or how many guys are at that spot, because you're competing with 31 other teams too. If they can like you a lot, but if there is somebody on another team that is either gets released or is up for trade and they believe is better than you are, they will replace you.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you understand that, you can work hard, you do all the right stuff, there's always that option of someone else being able to be out there. And that's, I think the league looks at that as a healthy way to make sure you're not getting fat and happy. And if you're, a Green Bay Packer right now, you're feeling like you're in the 2 deep, you're feeling really good. As I always, bring up Eddie Lacy, things change, and when things go very quickly. And Sewell, good luck to you in Washington, but I didn't think he was going to be a Green Bay Packer, and now this will tell you that he's probably not. That doesn't mean every corner that's going to be on this roster is on the roster right now when they head up to Minneapolis, because things can change pretty quickly.
All right, let's play some trivia. Wooly, you got the green light here, or did Jesse send you these?
Yep, Sports Weekend Recap. The 4th of July Sports Weekend Recap, written by Primetime Wollersheim.
Did he teach you how to use the Telestrator before he left? Did you want to write down the number of caller? Or?
I will say, before the show started, I was really trying to figure out how he got that to work because I had never seen that before he started doing it on Thursday's show last week.
You're a little jelly of jelly, aren't you?
I'm very jelly. Honestly, that's... the John Madden references were amazing last week.
Here's a guy who doesn't like soccer.
Here's a guy who doesn't like soccer. Here's a guy who hates FIFA. And there's going to be some FIFA questions and trivia. But no, I do not know how to write down the number of the caller.
Okay. What caller would you like then?
Let's go caller number 11.
Caller number 11 right now for Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Vortex Golf and Cousin Subs. Caller 11, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 11 plays trivia next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
That's why I said the toughest part to me for the Packers is that the division is, I think, better than it's been.
The best 60 minutes of your day happens on the Homer Hour.
So the issue is, and I'm working on the T-shirt right now, this season is very simple.
This guy.
Got to win the damn division.
Weekday afternoons from 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
When summer turns up the heat, cool down with a shake from Cousin Subs. Our shakes are hand-spun with creamy vanilla gelato and blended into 4 delicious flavors: vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and mint. They're rich, smooth, refreshing, and the perfect sweet treat on a warm summer day. Whether you're stopping in for lunch, dinner, or just craving something cool, there's a flavor waiting for you. Cool down with a shake from Cousin Subs. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
No matter what business you're in, as the #1 SBA lender in Wisconsin, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions.
Awarded the #1 SBA lender by the Small Business Administration of Wisconsin in 2025.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Chris Canty.
This is the type of move that if it don't work, people get fired for. Like I understand that this is a championship organization. A couple of years ago, they held up the Larry O'Brien trophy, Brad Stevens and Joe Mazzulla and all that. If this move doesn't work, this is the type of decision that people get fired for. We knew Jaylen Brown was on the block, and we were still shocked that this trade went down just because of the return that Boston got. I had the kind of reaction from yesterday's trade with Jaylen Brown that I did a couple of years ago when Luka got traded to my team. Now, we didn't know Luka was going to be traded, but we were all surprised that he was traded, and we were surprised the return that the Dallas Mavs got for it. And as a result, guess what happened? Nico Harrison got fired. All I'm simply saying is this move, while it might not be as jarring, it is shocking to the NBA world.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code FUTURE to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code FUTURE to borrow up to $10,000. Use code FUTURE to borrow up to $10,000.
When your team needs custom gear, don't wing it. Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more is your local partner for high-quality apparel with hands-on design help and services that actually feel, well, helpful. For your business, teams, or events, Big Frog makes it easy. Visit bigfrog.com/Mequon today.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here from MoMA. Battling a sore knee, a shoulder, elbow, hand, neck, back, or foot pain? game? MoMA can get you back in the game. MoMA is the new Midwest Orthopedic and Musculoskeletal Alliance, connecting trusted local providers like OIW, SMOC, and Innovative Pain, with expert care and innovative treatments provided in their offices. The Surgery Center, Ortho Laser, Smart Scan, or MOSH. With the best orthopedic care and recovery, MoMA can get you back to doing what you love. Call or walk in today.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Time to criticize the questions in trivia just like we would if Jesse asked them. Time now for trivia presented by Cousin Subs and Vortex Golf.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Cousin Subs. Cool down with the summer shake from Cousin Subs. Enjoy 4 delicious flavors: vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and mint. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. And by Vortex Golf. Trivia winners this week receive a hat, ball marker, sticker, and a blade rangefinder courtesy of Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
That is sweet. So is that button sticky?
That one is not sticky. I'll be honest. Last time I heard you guys play trivia, I thought you played it at the end because it is a little long. I thought that was how you guys were operating now.
No, because Jesse couldn't get the button to work.
Well, Jesse, yeah, his buttons usually don't work unless you're pushing his.
Like to push his button.
Yeah,
so. All right, let's welcome in our contestant. It is Travis in Blue Mounds. Travis, good morning. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. How you doing?
Good morning. Good. You?
I am good. Thank you for asking. The category is the 4th of July Sports Weekend Recap. Question number 1 is this. 2 Milwaukee Brewers were named MLB All-Stars this past weekend. Which of these players was not named to the Midsummer Classic? Is it Jacob Mizorowski, Bryce Terang, or William Contreras?
C.
The Miz and Contreras named to the All-Star team. Bryce Terang snubbed. I believe he's being viewed as the biggest snub of any snub.
Any list you find, the biggest snubs from this year's Midsummer Classic, every single one, ESPN.com, MLB.com, it's clear that he was the most deserving second baseman in the NL, and he's not even the reserve. So, yeah.
Tausch, how do we grade question 1 without a funny answer as answer C?
I want people to be authentic. Wooly is being woolly.
It's a big deal, honestly. Like, this isn't a laughing matter, Jason. Bryce Terang got snubbed from the All-Star game.
Okay. Could have been question 2.
Well, I was told to make him easier and progressively harder, and I felt like that was the easiest, if I'm being honest.
Okay. Well.
So, Travis, you might want to step it up.
Jeez.
I have a good feeling for this next one. This should be common knowledge for any American.
All right, Travis, I believe the gauntlet has been thrown down by Wooly. Step it up, man! Here we go, question 2. Joey Chestnut won his 18th mustard belt title.
Yeah, he did.
At the annual July 4th hot dog eating contest on Coney Island on Saturday. How many hot dogs and buns did Joey consume? Was it 51, 66, or 77, thus breaking his own world record of 76 hot dogs eaten in 2021?
B, I believe.
He answered the challenge. You threw it down, Travis.
Stepping up like Joey Chestnut did. Well done. Well done.
Are you a hot dog eating contest guy?
No, I think it's
Are you
disgusting.
sure? Because you knew the mustard belts, you knew the record.
I mean, that's
sure?
That was in the ESPN article that I found. Honestly, they mentioned the mustard belt. Now I left out the name of the organization because they don't sell ice cream, but everything else is like pretty common knowledge. I feel like when it comes to the July 4th eating contest on Coney Island on Saturday.
Indeed. Question 3, Travis, another opportunity to get one right here.
Do you think Chestnut could eat the same amount of brats?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. Like hot dog, brat, as long as they're the same size.
A brat's definitely bigger.
Okay,
I don't.
If you're gonna make it
I don't
bigger,
think
then
you
yeah.
could. Well, they would be bigger.
Well, yeah,
Brats
but you
are
could make
always
like.
thicker.
Couldn't you just make like a hot dog sized brat, and then they would just eat those instead? Like if this was a
I
Wisconsin.
don't think it works that way, but I can ask our friends at Jones Dairy, and we can find out about how that all plays out.
I will say it is incredible to me that he did all that while it was 92 degrees outside too. Just absolutely abysmal experience.
So the dunking them in water makes it easier for it to go down, right? Because it would seem to add more volume to it by doing that, right?
I think it does, but I think it helps expand the stomach too, which actually helps like fit more dogs in. And then there are other competitors who are also like drinking soda during it, which is the most disgusting thing I can imagine doing. Like they have like cups.
I think there's another
giant
disgusting
big
aspect that I don't want to think about right now. Question 3, Travis, is this.
That's why it was question 2, Jason.
FIFA shocked the soccer world ahead of the U.S. men's national team's round of 16 game versus Belgium tonight as they justly and without any hint of corruption. Wow, I didn't know you were editorializing in these questions.
It's just the truth.
Lifted a 1-game suspension on this star striker from the United States. Is it Christian Pulisic, Alex Freeman, or Folarin Balogun?
Balogun.
That's not what it says here. B-A is, check the pronunciation.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it says here.
All right. Well,
anyway, A, B, or C, Travis?
A, I don't know. Maybe.
All right, well, I'm sorry, Travis. You answered the call on question 2. You did not get number 3. If you have not heard Folarin Balogun's name in the last 24 hours, I'm kind of shocked, to be honest.
Folarin Balogun.
Well, I just didn't hear it when he just asked the question, so I'm not. What do you mean we're shocked? I didn't even know the pronunciation of it.
Well,
Balogun.
I've only heard Balogun from anyone who's talked about it. I guess I've mostly heard his name rather than read it most of the times, but I do believe it is Balogun. Balogun.
Well, the bottom line, despite this nice little graphic with a person's mouth on Google that are trying to teach me how to say his name, is that was the correct answer, and we didn't get it. Travis, you're a longtime contestant. You fared better. I don't know if you've ever fared worse, but nevertheless, you got 1 right. That means you got 2 of the possible 4 entries into Friday's drawing. We appreciate you playing, buddy, and we appreciate your loyalty to the show. Thanks.
Thanks.
That is Wilde Tausch trivia. Justly and without any hint of corruption, huh?
Yeah, as FIFA's well known to do. They always do everything above bar. Everything is very clear and
Very
obvious,
much
and
so.
is never done in the dark or in the shadows or after a call from certain representatives of the United States. Yeah, no, all of that is very clear and obvious.
So obviously, I've made my position on FIFA and the World Cup very clear.
Yes, you have.
What I'm very concerned about is what the NFL has wisely steered clear of, because I'm an NFL guy, as you know.
Yes, you are.
You can't watch a soccer match and really have joy with anything that happens because you have to wait for the replay. I hope the NFL is watching.
Good point.
I don't want this whole penalty stuff to ever get to that point. We were close. I fought hard after that interference in the Rams-Saints game, which was a horrible call.
Mm-hmm.
If you start legislating those things every play, it's going to be a miserable fan experience. I'm telling you.
You're right.
I hope we don't. I don't think I'm going to be right on it. I think it's going to go that way because for as much as I don't care for FIFA and the World Cup, it is the most popular sport in the world. What does the NFL want to do? Globalize?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if you start seeing VAR in this. And when that happens, oh, God. Can you imagine Josh Jacobs busting a 60-yard touchdown run or Marshawn Lloyd, and then VAR, the old coach for the old Benny Johnson VAR, calls, no, that right tackle pulled my guy down, and they go and do that stupid camera angle where it vips around, and sure enough, yep, he tackled him. Oh, no more, bring it back. I'm telling you, it's going to ruin fan experience, but I hope we don't go down that road. I hope we don't.
So I'm glad you brought this up because this is your wheelhouse because you've been right about replay. You called the Sky Judge before they even admitted that they were doing it publicly, right? And now at least they say with replay assist. I am curious how you view. I know you don't understand the offsides call, but I'm wondering how you view the replay of that because we have seen multiple goals in many of the games be disallowed, and it's not called in real time. It's called, and then I think there was one of them where, they use that little graphic that looks like the old, Wimbledon tennis VAR, and the guy's toe is just barely across the line, but by the letter of the law, I guess he is offsides. Where do you stand on that? Because that affects major scoring plays, and it is not, again, legislated in real time. It is, he scored a goal, but let's go to the VAR.
So it's very similar to, did you cross the plane of the goal line? Did you get your toes in before you were out of bounds? Those things, I don't like the rule, but this is what they're saying. And this is how they know there is no judgment on it. It's not, you can't say, this guy is here. Just like you can't offsides in the NFL if a guy's lined up in the neutral zone. Trust me, the last thing we want to see is every play you could line up, because you could call a defensive guy offsides every time. You could call that. There's a lot of things that you could call. Now, would that change it? Maybe it would. This to me is very similar to, did he get his foot in bounds? And I don't have a problem in the NFL with them legislating that because it's concrete. There's no yes or no. Now, the catch, we wore that out to the point now the NFL gave in. And anytime you could go back and call a holding or a pass interference and VAR it, I'm telling you, it will ruin fan experience. And I hope we don't go down that road. I don't know what that would be in soccer, because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know enough. Interference, I don't know those rules, so I can't say. But I would say in the NFL, anytime there's a big play, I would throw a flag and I would challenge it, and I don't think that's a road that anybody should want to go down.
Not to be confused with the Balogun red card, right, Wooly? All right, Tausch, the experience you've had at MoMA, on the other hand, has been a very positive experience as your knee gets better and better.
Indeed it is, and I've been telling you for a while about my pain in my knee, and I haven't been able to do everything I want, and all the other stuff that you got going on. I was leery. I was like, I wanted to go down and check out MoMA, the Midwest Orthopedic and Musculoskeletal Alliance. They bring together trusted local providers, OIW, SMOC, Innovative Pain. They make it easy to find the right specialist and the right treatment for you. And for me, It was simple. I went to ortho laser. I sit down, I have 20 minutes, try to get more blood flow, try to limit some of the arthritis, just try to get it incrementally better. And boy, I've been able to walk a heck of a lot more. I've been able to play golf again. They also have the Surgery Center, Smart Scan, and Mosh, experienced teams that will help focus on getting you feeling better and back to your normal way of life. MoMA can do that. I highly recommend seeing their team, whatever is ailing you, and they'll try and help you personally like they did me. Call or walk in today.
Rye Guy takes over Whoa Nelly with Whoa Wooly. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher for Outdoor Living Unlimited. Well, my wife and I chose Outdoor Living Unlimited to build our outdoor project. And when we met with Aaron and Eric Brown, owners and brothers of Outdoor Living Unlimited, we felt like they were the right guys to work with. We share the same hardworking values, and their showroom is a must-see at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha. If you're looking for a new deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, and more, Outdoor Living Unlimited is a must. Start with OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com and end with an amazing outdoor space.
Summer and baseball go hand in hand, and as a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers, Carbless is helping fans swing into full flavor all season long. Whether you're at the ballpark, tailgating with friends, or catching the game from home, Carbless delivers bold flavor in a convenient canned cocktail that's ready wherever summer takes you. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 100 calories, gluten-free and full of flavor. Carbless. Find your bliss near you at drinkcarbless.com.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Aaron Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year Award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga. Every morning, I talk about traffic backups and slowdowns around Milwaukee. At Sewer Ninjas, they help homeowners avoid a different kind of backup, a sewer backup. Sewer Ninjas is a Wisconsin family-owned company specializing in sewer camera inspections, drain cleaning, and trenchless repairs that can often be completed without tearing up your yard. Their goal is simple: find problems early and help homeowners avoid costly surprises. Learn more at sewerninjas.com. That's sewerninjas.com.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 5 to 16 ounce selected varieties, Frito-Lay Lay's, Kettle Chips, Cantina Chips, or Rolled Gold pretzels, 2 for $4.50. Pork baby back ribs, $2.99 a pound. 1 pound fresh strawberries, $3.99. Bicolor sweet corn, 5 for $2.50.
Safe.
Every time I scan, what is happening?
A leaping grab at the wall.
Okay, fine, I'll play. Get a load of this watermelon. And here's the pitch.
Please wait for assistance.
Win Century Foods Ultimate Fan Experiences at Milwaukee baseball games. Throw out the first pitch, hold the ribbon for the Johnsonville famous sausage race, or watch batting practice from the field.
Ooh, what do I do?
Complete the entry form in Century's weekly ad and return to the store.
Ah, no, what happened here? Oh, self-checkout couldn't handle my heater. Here, I filled out my entry form. Gotta go. Have a great day. I'll go get the mop.
Enter by August 5th.
988 Wisconsin Lifeline. How can I help you?
Share hope, find purpose when you become a 988 Lifeline counselor. The 988 Wisconsin Lifeline provides free and confidential support to anyone in crisis. 988 has experienced tremendous growth, and more statewide counselors are needed. Staffed by Family Services, 988 counselors work remotely, are offered flexible hours, competitive compensation, benefits, and training. Apply today at 988lifelinecounselor.org. Family Services is an equal opportunity employer.
Paid for by grants from SAMHSA and the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, 855 Pella WI, or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Before we get into Whoa Wooly, sources close to the program tell me that the entirety of our conversation with new Wisconsin Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst is now available as a standalone on our YouTube channels, so you can certainly check that out a little bit later after we finish up the show. And, of course, you'll be able to find that later if you just prefer the audio version to be able to tune into that. On ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, and wherever you get your podcast. Time now for Whoa Wooly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I got to stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde and Tausch.
So, Jason, we mentioned it in the Sports Weekend recap as well, which Travis and Blue Mountains did not perform very well in. One of the questions he got wrong was the...
is that really necessary? What do you have against Travis and Blue Mountains?
Well, he's got a little, he's got a little blank and vinegar.
I'll be honest, I listen to trivia every day on your guys' show, and I think it's just too easy every day. Like, it feels patronizing. Wow. I don't like how Jesse operates.
Fired.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like he treats the fans like they don't know anything. So I wanted to, make it a little tougher today, and then I guess I just made it too tough. No, I didn't think it was that tough. Honestly, I thought Bryce Terang being left off the All-Star team roster for the NL was a big deal.
I think that's a fair critique. Tausch, you're usually the one who's the arbiter of fairness. Was that a question
first
that
question
Travis should have
was
gotten?
tough. I thought the other two were very fair. First question was probably too tough.
Okay. There's no funny question or funny answer on C. That was the problem. It should have been
true.
But in Wooly's
Niger
defense,
Morgan.
I do think Jesse's questions are too easy.
Yes,
you do.
You.
I do. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's patronizing the fans.
This is constructive. I like it.
I'm good. I hope he's listening up north or wherever he's on vacation to for the start
What
of
do you
this
think
week.
the chances are of that?
10%. 10%, yeah. It's almost noon. He might be coming in from the lake, getting another drink, getting some food.
Think he's been out on you think he's been out there tubing in his swim shirt, or what do you think he's been up to?
You're saying I'm taking stray shots at him. You're calling out his swim shirt now?
No, we're all swim shirt guys. I mean, to varying degrees. It's okay. All right. Go ahead. Take over. My
I
fault.
think the MLB just has the dumbest all-star voting system. It makes no sense to me. I just don't get why fans can vote only for the starting position players, then players and I guess managers vote for reserves and pitchers, and then I don't know who at all votes for any of the replacements for guys who end up sitting out the whole all-star game. It feels so convoluted. It feels like they haven't been able to get it right the entire time. And honestly, I haven't known a good alternative until I heard Jen Latta and Jen Gabe and Chewy this morning actually throw out what I think could be a very good use for AI. Why doesn't AI just decide the all-star rosters? Just give it the stats, say, here are all the players at these given positions, give it a weight to how important all of their defensive, offensive metrics are, and just say, who are the most deserving players based off this point of the season? Why? Wouldn't that make the most sense? You wouldn't have snubs. You could still get a pretty even distribution of players from teams, which I also think is stupid. I think it's dumb that every team has to have at least one player. Talk about patronizing. But I think that this is a one good use for AI, especially in sports. Because baseball is the most stat-driven sport. It should be obvious who should be an all-star.
isn't that how the Terminator started? Wasn't that the big debate? Was they had them deciding on the All-Stars in the 1982 All-Star game?
That's what Skynet was doing? Yeah, MLB employed Skynet.
I'm not really pro. I don't want to give any jobs to AI personally, but Tausch, are you on board with this idea of letting AI pick the All-Stars?
I think you could definitely utilize it to. There's always going to be somebody that feels like you got snubbed, and when it's someone that we like and is part of our team, we're going to feel it even more. So I have not broken this down because part of it is the sport that I love the most is the NFL, and the fact that their Pro Bowl voting, nobody seems to care. I don't care as much about how the All-Star shakes itself out, but it does matter for money. It matters for legacy.
Yep.
It is important. And I think AI would do a better job of it than human beings would. So I'm on board with – I don't want biases coming into play. I don't want, well, this guy deserves it, the Lifetime Achievement Award. Who's had the best half season and who deserves it? And I think AI would do a better job of that than sports writers and fans, if I'm being honest.
Think about how much bias there is every year where it's like 5 Dodgers make the list no matter what. Like, it's just de facto the Dodgers and the Yankees are going to have X number of players. Like, Andy Pages made it for the outfield, and he's been terrible over the last, month and a half. Like, he's one of the better players to start the season for sure, and it's the full first half. But he has been, atrocious. And then even Pete Crow Armstrong for the Cubs, he's a reserve in the outfield, and he is, statistically, by every measure, one of the best players in baseball right now, regardless of position or league. It's dumb. And especially
he's had a couple big errors against the Milwaukee Brewers,
yeah,
though, too.
Since then, though, he's actually been on a heck of a tear. He's been really good.
Why don't you plug in to Chatty and see if Bryce Terang should have been an All-Star?
It's going to just say, duh. I already know the answer to that one. I don't need
I guess I don't use Chat GPT enough. It says duh if what you ask is too obvious.
As you're doing it, I'm going to put it in and I'll read back what it says as you continue on.
Okay, well, I will say that Bryce Terang got snubbed, and I think Kyle Harrison got snubbed a little bit as well, though. When it comes to pitchers, I don't think that one was as egregious just because there's so many good pitchers in baseball, and I think it is much harder to... There's a smaller sample size, especially over half of a season. You never know, which guys maybe got easier opponents and everything, too. So I think there's a big outlier in that. But Bryce Terang is the one to me. I really want to know what Chat said to you, Tausch.
Yeah, so Chat said, yes, there's a strong argument that Bryce Terang was snubbed. Several baseball analysts identified him as one of the biggest omissions. CBS, ESPN, Fox, they all have included him on the snub list. Why he should have? Best defensive second baseman in baseball, his Gold Glove caliber play, contributing offensively while providing elite speed and base running, and the Brewers have one of the best records, and representation usually comes from having a successful team. So, yes, solid case that Bryce Terang was one of the biggest snubs in the All-Star roster, according to Chatty.
So the starting point for Chat GPT, though, is the humans who made the argument in their columns for CBS, ESPN, and elsewhere.
This AI is only as good as the inputs that you have to go off.
If what I'm proposing were to happen, we'd actually give it the stats and everything you see on Pro Baseball Reference and everything, and then it would just say decide based off these, inputs, like Tausch is saying. But yeah, based off what it can just pull from the internet, it does realize that literally every baseball writer is saying that Bryce Terang was the biggest snub. So,
whoa, Wooly.
Whoa, Nelly.
All right, and then one other quick one for you guys here, something that I did not put in the Sports Weekend recap for trivia.
Could Jason do that? So I know there's no deadlines anymore for newspapers, etc. But could you just plug in all of the big plays and quotes and all of the stats from a game and then have it Chatty write the story?
I'm not sure, Tausch.
No, I don't think they could do the Dunkin' Donuts James Francois or Ricky Jean-Francois.
What?
I knew you were going to correct me. I should have corrected you earlier, too.
You should.
The Francois article in Dunkin', those stories, I don't think Chatty's going to be able to write. So you're going to be safe. But if you're just a aggregator and writing up like storylines, I think Chatty's that's another spot that Chatty will probably do.
I believe the Mark Tauscher scored 23 points and grabbed 10 rebounds to lead Auburndale High School to a 75-65 victory over Marshfield. I do think they could probably...
Hornets. Colby. Good games against Colby. Cadet. Beating up on Cadet.
Is that who is your big rival?
In basketball, we didn't really have one.
You were just not dominant.
Nobody ever beat us.
Yeah.
Nobody beat us.
I do think that probably ChatGPT could do those, but I'm going to try and keep the robots at bay for as long as possible and keep doing what I'm doing. Wooly, are you done, or did you want to sneak one more in quickly?
The music's done. It was just about Adam Sandler officiating Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's wedding. It's a fun little tidbit, but not important.
He was not snubbed as an officiant.
I legit think Evan on Unsportsmanlike this morning, and we'll bring this up with him tomorrow, brought up a great point. If you really worked hard and wanted to find a way, you could have found a way to get invited to that wedding.
Seemed like everyone was
really
there.
believe that that's true.
Including
all you had to do
Dean
is have
Blandino.
some kind of interaction with Taylor Swift, and you're going to get invited to that wedding, or Travis.
Yeah, why was
I think if you worked hard, if you put your life's goal to get invited to that wedding, you could have found a way to do it the way they played it out. And I think that's kind of cool.
We will wrap things up after I remind you that I hope you never get hurt in an accident. I really do, because then you don't have to make the call. But if you have been injured, there's only one call to make. One call, that's all. Gruber Law Offices, 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. Gruber Law Offices, they've been doing it for 4 decades. They are the best in the business. So make the call. Make sure that they are on your team if you've been injured in an accident. We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some... Why are you throwing... I don't want...
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
I started our landscaping company, Brett Ochtenhagen's Seasonal Services, in 1994. We have other businesses, a trucking company, investment properties, and we board and raise quarter horses. I met Chris from Horicon Bank over 20 years ago, and we really hit it off. A few years back, we made our largest capital commitment ever. Chris understood our vision, supported it, and 5 years later, our annual equipment maintenance costs are down, and our fleet is amazing. Chris and Horicon Bank helped make that happen.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC.
What life events have you experienced over the past couple of years? Well, maybe one is coming up. The sale of a company, death, divorce, a health crisis, or helping to pay for college or a wedding. Well, Annex Wealth Management has assisted clients with life events, but planning for them can make all the difference. Knowing what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it is a big part of smart financial planning. Annex has an entire in-house team that works together so you can make informed decisions when life events come up. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Ready for a weekend you won't forget? Get to the Brewers Series against the Rockies Friday, July 24th through Sunday the 26th. There's a game for every fan. See a Brewers postgame Alumni Legends game on Friday. Then collect a Brewers Guess Who giveaway Saturday night, courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. Looking for an unbeatable family day? Join the crew Sunday when the first 5,000 kids get a local artist t-shirt giveaway designed by Unfinished Legacy. Get tickets at brewers.com.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, it's Greg from Burn Pit BBQ.
And I'm Owen.
As we get ready to celebrate the 4th of July, we're reminded that it's more than fireworks and cookouts.
It's about freedom, family, and the people who made those things possible.
As a Marine veteran and a dad, some of my favorite memories are gathered around the grill with family and friends.
That's what the holiday is all about. Slowing down, spending time together, and appreciating what we have.
From our family to yours, we hope they have a safe and meaningful Independence Day.
And if you're firing up the grill, make it a good one.
Happy 4th of July from Burn Pit BBQ.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. And beer fans, we've got something to cheer about. Michelob Ultra is the official beer sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026. So whether you call it soccer or football, it's time to get your game plan ready as the world's largest soccer tournament returns to the USA. Stop by Discount Liquor to pick up a 12-pack of Michelob Ultra and score a free Michelob Ultra soccer koozie. At Discount Liquor, we stock over 15,000 varieties of beer, wine, spirits, THCA, and non-alcoholic beverages, all at the lowest prices in town. From craft brews to hard-to-find whiskeys, we've got a lineup for you. So don't get caught off sides with an empty fridge. Stop into Discount Liquor and stock up before kickoff. Visit us in Milwaukee on 51st and Oklahoma or in downtown Waukesha at Barstow and Maine.
Discount liquor.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
All right, we're almost out of time with my McCarthy-esque time management. So just a reminder again, if you missed our conversation with new Wisconsin Athletic Director Shawn Eichorst, you can find that now up and running in its own standalone clip on our YouTube channels. Tausch, anything to add before we leave?
Nope.
He's not the best color man in the business for nothing, folks. That's it for us today. We'll do it again tomorrow. Thanks to Wooly for stepping in, and thanks to Riley for joining us. And, of course, thanks to Shawn Eichorst as well. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Mark Tauscher here, and if you know me, you know I love Wisconsin. That's why